Chapter 1145. Uncle Wong. This person has the Desolate Godly King sword. I want to pay a high price to get the Godly King sword back, but this person insisted on not giving it to me. Helplessly, I had to disturb Uncle Wong. Seeing King 2 arrive in time, Delingo was overjoyed. She immediately went up and reported respectfully. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. It really is the Desolate sword. The heavenly King 2's eyes, which were as deep as cold stars, emitted rays of light. He looked at the frowning Yi Chenfeng and spoke in a deep voice. If Uncle Wong doesn't believe me, he can take it out and you will know. Delingo said respectfully. Junior, I have seen you before. You should be from the Nine Heavens God Nation. King 2 said in a superior tone. Exchange the Desolate sword to the Nine Heavens royal family, and I will not mistreat you. My lord, I don't know anything about the Desolate sword. If you don't believe me, you can search my body. Yi Chenfeng had already kept the Emperor Sky sword in the Qiankuan mirror. No matter how powerful Tu Tianwang was, he wouldn't be able to sense the presence of the Emperor Sky sword from the Qiankuan mirror. Junior, although I don't know your relationship with Jiao Rao, do you want her to be implicated by you? King 2 glared at Yi Chenfeng and threatened. Hearing King 2's threat, Yi Chenfeng's expression changed slightly. He was alone and wasn't afraid of threats, but he didn't want to implicate Wang Tian Marquis. But seeing how much the Nine Heavens God Nation valued the Desolate sword, he was sure that the Desolate sword hid a shocking secret. He really didn't want to return this secret to the Nine Heavens God Nation. Just as the situation was in a stalemate, thoughts flashed through Yi Chenfeng's mind. Just as he was in a dilemma, an old voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Kid, do you need my help? If you're willing to be my disciple, I will support you. I will beat this King 2 into a pig head. Dao Addict hearing this voice, Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows and was secretly happy. King 2 couldn't compare to the Dao Addict in terms of strength or status. If the Dao Addict supported him, King 2 would be useless. However, Yi Chenfeng was used to being alone. He really didn't want the Tao Addict to be his teacher. He was more afraid that the Tao Addict would find out his secret and harm him. Heavenly King 2, he is an honored guest of my 8-head divine nation. If you dare to harm him, my 8-head divine nation will definitely seek justice for him. Shui Hanyan gently bit her alluring red lips as she stood beside Yi Chenfeng and said loudly, I suspect that this person stole my 9 Heavens divine nation's treasure. Is your 8-head divine nation going to protect a thief? Tu Tianwang snorted coldly. Tu Wang, you've lived for so long in vain, actually bullying a junior. Suddenly, a beautiful voice rang out, and 2 beautiful figures slowly walked over under the illumination of the sun. Looking at one of the women, who was dressed in a light blue veil, her skin was smooth and creamy, and her beauty was flawless. She was so beautiful that she seemed otherworldly. Everyone's eyes were deeply attracted to her. Yanryu Heavenly King, too, frowned slightly. He never thought that one of the 10 great unaffiliated cultivators, the so-called #1 beauty of the Central World, Yanryu, would appear at this critical juncture. Fengchun, we meet again. Following behind Yanryu was Hua Yilin, who was dressed in a fiery red dress and had a graceful figure. Her white skin had a faint pinkish hue, and her thin lips were tender and alluring like a rose. She smiled faintly and greeted them softly. Senior Yilin, why are the 2 of you here? Yi Chenfeng revealed a surprised expression. Although he had once saved Hui Yilin, he did not have any relationship with Yanryu. He could not understand why Yanryu would appear at this moment to help him. We are here to help you. Hui Yilin smiled faintly and said with a pleasant voice, Yanryu, are you really going to support him? Tu Tianwang's expression turned abnormally ugly as he said coldly. Although he really wanted to take back the Emperor's Sky Sword, if Yanryu insisted on supporting Yi Chenfeng, then things would be difficult. He knew that he did not have the strength to make Yanryu back off. Tu Tianwang, I advise you not to touch him or threaten him. Otherwise, even if I don't appear, there will be people who will find trouble with you and your 9 Heavens divine nation. Yanryu looked coldly at Tu Tianwang and said without a trace of emotion, Hearing Yin Ruyu's slightly threatening words, Tu Tian Wang's expression turned abnormally ugly. As for Yi Qinfeng, he had a strange expression on his face. He really couldn't figure out who in the central continent would support him. Sigh, little Yin Yin, why are you here? Just as Tu Tian Wang was in a dilemma, a soft sigh sounded. Wearing a linen robe, the seemingly ordinary Dao addict appeared in a flash. Old man Dao, don't call me little Yin Yin. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. Hearing how the Dao addict addressed her, Yin Ryu was instantly enraged. An aura surged out from her body like a stormy sea and bombarded the smiling Dao addict. Just kidding. Do you have to be so agitated? The Dao addict squinted her small eyes and flicked her finger in the void. Instantly, ripples appeared in the space in front of her and dispersed the aura that Yin Ryu had released. So powerful. Is this the strength of the top experts in the Central World? Although Yin Ryu and the Dao addict just attacked casually, Yi Qinfeng clearly felt their terrible strength. His heart also stopped at the moment when the two forces collided. He had no doubt that if the Dao addict and Yin Ryu really fought with all their strength, the space in the Central World would be destroyed no matter how strong it was. Boy, let me ask you for the last time. Will you worship I as your master? If you worship me as your master, I will not only beat him into a pig's head, make him kneel and apologize to you, but also give you a treasure. What do you think? The Dao addict asked loudly, ignoring Tu Tian Wang's gloomy eyes and livid face. Dao addict, don't go too far. Tu Tian Wang was about to go crazy. As the lord of the Jiuqian divine kingdom, he had never been humiliated like this. He roared angrily. Yes, I am bullying you. What can you do to me? The Dao addict picked her nose with her finger and said, bite me, you. Tu Tian Wang trembled with anger, and the flames in his eyes seemed to want to melt the Dao addict. However, the Dao addict's strength was too terrifying. She had almost reached the limit of the Nirvana heavenly realm, so he could not summon any courage to fight with her. Hey, little Tu Tian Wang, you have a temper. You dare to be angry with me? The Dao addict looked at the angry Tu Tian Wang and flicked her finger. A disgusting snot that she had just dug out flew out and shot toward Tu Tian Wang, whose face changed greatly. Tu Tian Wang was about to dodge, but the snot seemed to have traveled through time and space and hit his face heavily. It easily broke his body's defense and sent him flying. Well, I don't want to bully you anymore. Get out of here as far as you can. If I see you bullying others again, don't blame me for hanging you up and beating you. The Dao addict glanced coldly at Tu Tian Wang, whose face was bleeding because of the snot, and warned him overbearingly. Let's go. Seeing the Dao addict's strength, Tu Tian Wang could only grit his teeth and swallow his anger. He left with Dilinga and Jian Tianzi, who were deeply shocked. Me too. Seeing the Dao addict's gaze turn to him, Marquis Qianlai trembled and said hurriedly, let me send you on your way. The Dao addict appeared behind Marquis Qianlai in a flash. She waved her arm and created a hurricane, which directly swept Marquis Qianlai and the others away. No one knew where they fell. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1146. Thank you for your help. Seeing Tao Addict's power, Yi Qinfeng was shocked again and thanked her from the bottom of his heart. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. It's just a small favor. Don't worry about it. Tao Addict waved her hand and said carelessly, Kid, now you know how powerful I am. Do you want to be my disciple? Yi Qinfeng hesitated and suddenly saw Jiao Yuyin not far away. He sent a voice transmission. Yuyin, are you interested in being Tao Addict's disciple? If you have Tao Addict support, King Tu won't dare to take revenge on you. I really want to be Tao Addict's disciple, but Tao Addict likes you, not me. Jiao Yuyin sent a voice transmission. As long as you don't object, I'll think of other ways. Hearing that Jiao Yuyin wanted to be Tao Addict's disciple, Yi Qinfeng smiled faintly and said, If you really want to be my disciple, I have a good candidate to recommend. A good candidate is better than you, Tao Addict said disapprovingly. Yi Chunfeng asked softly, have you heard of Tianhun body? Tianhun body, a rare Tianhun body. Tao Addict's eyes lit up. Come, Yuyin, come here. Yi Chunfeng called Jiao Yuyin to his side and said, Yuyin is the rare Tianhun body. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Many pairs of surprised eyes looked at Jiao Yuyin, who looked a bit unnatural. Especially Yin Ruyu. A vertical eye cracked open on her forehead, as if she wanted to see through Jiao Yuyin. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Tao Addict grabbed Jiao Yuyin's wrist, and strands of powerful soul strands drilled into her body. Heavenly soul body, it was really the heavenly soul body, and the heavenly soul body had been activated. Her foundation was extremely solid. After checking Jiao Yuyin's body, the Tao Addict showed a very surprised expression. She said excitedly, little girl, I didn't expect you to hide so deeply. Let me ask you, what realm is your soul cultivation now? My soul just broke through to nirvana not long ago. In front of the Tao Addict, Jiao Yuyin didn't dare to hide anything. 4th level Beast Emperor realm and Nirvana's soul realm. The heavenly soul body was indeed powerful. Knowing Jiao Yuyin's soul realm, the smile on the Tao Addict's face grew wider. She asked, let me ask you, are you willing to be my disciple? Are you willing to be my first disciple? This junior is willing, but before I formally acknowledge you as my master, can this junior first inform my mother? Jiao Yuyin had long been convinced by the Tao Addict's strength. If she could become the Tao Addict's disciple, then no one in the 9 heavens divine kingdom would dare to bully her and her mother. She would also have a chance to stand at the peak of the Duhan continent. Yin, I don't think Master Yi Chunfeng will stop you from taking the senior as your teacher. Moreover, with the support of the Tao Addict, the villain who wants to kill you and your mother will not dare to do anything to you. Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. What? Someone wants to kill you? The Tao Addict was anxious when she heard that. In the entire Duhan continent, Jiao Yuyin was probably the only heavenly soul body. The heavenly soul body's potential was limitless. If she cultivated to the peak, her strength would definitely surpass the Tao Addict herself. She was the best candidate to inherit his legacy. He would not allow anyone to hurt her. That was all in the past. Jiao Yuyin looked at the smiling Yi Chunfeng and knew that he did on purpose. She said softly, tell me, who is so bold to kill my disciple? The Tao Addict said angrily. It was young Tianho of the 9 heavens divine kingdom. If I didn't coincidentally meet Yu Yin, she would have been killed by him. Yi Chunfeng said from the side. Young Tianho, how dare he? The Tao Addict said angrily. Let's go, Master will avenge you. Looking at the Tao Addict who had not even accepted a disciple yet, but was already protecting her disciple, Yin Ryu shook her head lightly. She withdrew her strange vertical eye and said, Feng Chun, since there is nothing else, Yilin and I will leave first. Do well in the competition. Many people are looking forward to your performance in the Heavenly Palace competition. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and showed a hint of surprise. He could not figure out who was so concerned about him, and Yin Ryu's sudden appearance to help seemed to be entrusted by someone. Senior, don't worry, I will do my best in the Heavenly Palace competition. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised. Okay. Yin Ryu nodded and was about to leave with Hui Yilin. Wait, Senior, I have a red gold blood Ganoderma here. I will give it to you. Under the Tao Addict's gaze, Yi Chunfeng gave the red gold blood Ganoderma he just got from him to Yin Ryu, intending to form a good relationship with her. Red gold blood, Ganoderma Ryu had the Sun True body, so the benefits of this red gold blood Ganoderma to her were self-evident. Kid, you're really something, giving away the thing I gave you so quickly. The Tao Addict said with some dissatisfaction. Senior, I have given you such a good disciple. Can it compare to a red gold blood Ganoderma? Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, in the future, with Yu Yin as the go-between, just tell me if you need anything. I will go through water and fire without hesitation. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's promise, the Tao Addict showed a satisfied smile. It turns out to be the red gold blood Ganoderma of the old man Dao. I remember that he treasured the red gold blood Ganoderma very much. I didn't expect that he would give it to you. Yin Ryu suddenly bloomed a smile that was 3 times more beautiful than a flower and said, "This red gold blood Ganoderma is indeed useful to me. I will not be polite." After that, Yin Ryu took away the red gold blood Ganoderma and left with Huiyuan. "I'm also leaving. Remember, you owe me a favor today, but you must repay it tenfold another day." The fairy-like Shui Hanyin walked to Yi Chunfeng's side with a wave of fragrance and said in a delicate voice, "Okay." Looking at Shui Hanyin's charming face and thinking that she had just stood up for him, Yi Chunfeng did not say much nonsense and answered painfully, "That's more like it." Shui Hanyin showed a trace of a satisfied smile. Accompanied by 2 guards, she left like a proud peacock. "Senior Tao addict, Fengshan, I am also leaving. In the future, I will definitely find you and drink to our heart's content." Black Tortoise also did not stay for long. He respectfully bowed to the Tao addict and turned to leave. "Let's go. Take me to find that young Tian Ho. I want to see if that guy ate the bear's heart and leopard's gall to dare to hurt my precious disciple." Although Jiao Yuyin had not formally become her disciple, the Tao addict completely regarded her as her own disciple. She wanted to support her and let her know how powerful her master was. No need. Jiao Yuyin was hesitant. "No need? Today I will make an example of that young Tian Ho and let the people of Zhouqian Divine Kingdom know that my disciple is not someone that anyone can bully," the Tao addict said domineeringly. As she spoke, a familiar figure appeared in Yi Chunfeng's sight. Looking at this figure, Yi Chunfeng smiled extremely brightly. He did not expect that young Tian Ho would walk into the trap at this critical moment. "Senior, the man in a golden robe and a towering crown, is young Tian Ho." Yi Chunfeng pointed to young Tian Ho, who had just walked out of Tianjia Square with a gloomy face and a bad mood, and said softly, "Let's go and meet the young Tian Ho and see if he ate the bear's heart and leopard's gall." The Tao addict's turbid eyes shot out rays of light. She locked onto young Tian Ho, who was slowly walking over, and greeted him with Yi Chunfeng and the other 2. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1147. Boy, stop. The Tao addict, who was wearing a linen robe, stood in front of young Tian Ho and the others and said coldly, "Damn it, do you want to die? If you want to die, I'll help you." Xiao Tianyin's death had filled young Tian Ho's stomach with anger, but he had nowhere to vent it. Now that he saw Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin leading an unremarkable old man and a little girl in tattered clothes to block his path, the anger in his heart erupted like a volcano, and he fiercely spoke. "Young Tian Ho, why are you still so stubborn and threatening my and Yuyin's lives? Don't you know the law?" Yi Chunfeng deliberately dug a hole for young Tian Ho to jump into. "Damn it, the law." Young Tian Ho didn't know the Tao addict, so he said arrogantly, "I am the law. If you piss me off, I have many ways to make you disappear from the world. I even have ways to deal with that bitch Jiao Rao." You can't insult my mother," Jiao Yuyin said angrily with a red face. "I will insult you. What can you do to me?" Young Tian Ho looked at the blushing Jiao Yuyin and said, "If you and your mother are willing to warm my bed and be my women, I can consider sparing your lives. Otherwise, you can wait for my revenge." Young Tian Ho, do you really think you can be fearless with the support of King Tu? Young Tian Ho wasn't Yi Chunfeng's ultimate target. His real target was King Tuesday. "Haha, boy, you don't know the power of the Lord. Let me tell you, the Lord can crush you like ants." Young Tian Ho laughed arrogantly. Slap! Young Tian Ho was so proud that he forgot himself. The furious Tao addict slapped him fiercely and sent him flying. Several teeth sprayed out from his mouth, along with a lot of blood. He fell heavily on the ground and saw stars. "Damn it, how dare you hit me?" Young Tian Ho covered his face that was slapped by the Tao addict and got up from the ground. He roared like an angry lion. In his anger, a Tao diagram rose up and was ready to launch a fatal blow to the Tao addict. I'm going to hit you. Looking at the bold and arrogant Yong Tian-ho, the Tao addict was enraged. Her body flashed and appeared in front of him. He shattered the Tao diagram with a single finger. Then he extended his sandal-clad foot and crushed the defense of his body. He kicked him to the ground, causing him to spit out blood and shatter his sternum. Marquis, seeing that Yong Tian-ho was in danger, his two followers immediately took out two Taoist treasures and attacked the Tao addict. They wanted to force the Tao addict back and save Yong Tian-ho. Scram! The Tao addict roared, and a powerful sound wave erupted from her mouth. The terrible sound of the Great Way directly shattered the two Taoist treasures and sent the two followers of Tian-ho Yong flying. They fell hundreds of meters away and fainted on the spot. "You, who the hell are you?" Witnessing the scene of the Tao addict breaking the Taoist painting with one finger and the two Taoist treasures with a roar, Yong Tian-ho was dumbfounded. Coupled with the fact that Yi Chunfeng was trying to get information from him just now, he suddenly felt as if he had fallen into a trap. "Who is I? You don't deserve to know," the Tao addict said coldly and arrogantly. "Now, I order you to send a message to Old Two and ask him to save you. If he doesn't come in half an hour, I will immediately break your neck." "Senior, this may be a misunderstanding." Hearing that the Tao addict asked Heavenly King Tu to come and called him an old man, Yong Tian-ho was dumbfounded and said in a trembling voice, "I don't like to repeat myself. Old Two, if you don't come in half an hour, don't blame me for taking your life," the Tao addict said emotionlessly. Feeling the killing intent from the Tao addict, Yong Tian-ho was almost scared out of his wits. His whole body trembled even more violently. However, no matter how he begged for mercy, the Tao addict was unmoved. In desperation, he could only take out his communication bead and send a message to Heavenly King Tuesday. Heavenly King Tu, who had been blown away by the Tao addict, didn't want to care about Yong Tian-ho's business. However, thinking that Yong Tian-ho was his man and had done a lot for him, he finally rushed over with several masters of the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom. How could it be him? When Heavenly King Tu saw the Tao addict sitting on a chair made of Tao will, stepping on Yong Tian-ho's chest and picking her nose with her fingers, his face changed instantly. He never expected that Yong Tian-ho would be so blind as to provoke the Tao addict who had just humiliated him and implicate him. He couldn't wait to strangle Yong Tian-ho to death. "Since you're here, why are you hiding? Come over." The Tao addict looked at Heavenly King Tu and others who were standing in the distance and didn't want to come close, and said coldly, "Senior, don't be angry. I don't know how Xiaoping offended you. Do you need me to punish him on your behalf?" In the face of the Tao addict who was far stronger than him and was not afraid of anything, Heavenly King Tu had to put down his pride and asked politely, "Senior." Hearing that Heavenly King Tu actually called the Tao addict a senior, Yong Tian-ho was so scared that his face turned pale and his heart fell into a bottomless abyss. "Don't play dumb with me. Let me ask you, is this guy your man?" The Tao addict wiped her nose on Yong Tian-ho's face with her finger and asked in a superior tone. "Yes." Heavenly King Tu braced himself and said, "Then do you know that he wanted to murder my disciple and kill me?" The Tao addict continued to ask, "Senior, don't misunderstand. I really don't know about this matter." Heavenly King Tu's face changed, and he quickly denied any involvement. "You really don't know?" The Tao addict sneered and said, "Good disciple, come here and let this old man look at you." "Yes, master." Jiao Yin slowly walked over and said obediently, "Senior, she is your disciple." Heavenly King Tu widened his eyes and looked at Jiao Yin, who was as beautiful as a fairy. He couldn't believe it. "Yes, Yin is the disciple I just accepted. She may be my only disciple and my only successor. You actually tried to murder I's only disciple and let I cover for you. How do you think I should punish you?" The Tao addict's voice suddenly turned cold and said coldly, "Senior, this may be a misunderstanding. We didn't know that you wanted to accept Miss Yin as your disciple." Although the Tao addict was being unreasonable, Heavenly King too didn't dare to offend her and didn't dare to anger her. He could only grit his teeth and keep explaining. Okay, I can pretend that you don't know. But this person is too hateful. Relying on your support, he can do whatever he wants. Today, I will take you to punish him. You don't have any objections, right? The Tao addict looked coldly at Heavenly King too, who was about to go crazy, and said coldly, "No, I don't have any objections to how Senior wants to punish him." At this time, Heavenly King too wanted to strangle Yong Tian-ho, who was causing trouble. How could he support him? "No, Prince, save me." Hearing that Heavenly King too gave up on him, Yong Tian-ho was scared out of his wits and shouted loudly. Poof! A streak of blood suddenly splashed out. The Tao addict broke Yong Tian-ho's heart meridian with one finger and destroyed his cultivation. Old man too, remember this. If I find out that you dare to bully my disciple's family, even Di Dao Ju can't protect you. The Tao addict warned coldly. And the Di Dao Ju she was talking about was the current divine emperor of Jutian Divine Nation. I know, Heavenly King too said with humiliation. Okay, there's nothing for you to do here. Take this trash and get out of here as far as you can. The Tao addict grabbed the unconscious and disabled Yong Tian-ho and threw him to Heavenly King too, whose face was livid and trembling with anger. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1148. Mother, I'm back. Yi Chunfeng and the others had just returned to the inn when Jiao Yuyan, who was smiling like a flower, shouted excitedly. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test. Hearing Jiao Yuyan's voice, Wang Tian Marquis, Mu Qinghua, and the others immediately opened the door and saw Jiao Yuyan hugging the arm of an ordinary-looking old man in a linen robe, smiling at them. Yen who is this Senior? Although the Tao addict did not emit any aura and looked very ordinary, Wang Tian Marquis felt that he was not ordinary when he looked at him. So he asked politely, Mother, this is the master I just met, Jiao Yuyan said excitedly. From now on, with the Tao addict's support, no one in the central mainland would dare to bully them. Master, you just went out and found a master. Wang Tian Marquis and Mu Qinghua looked at each other and said in surprise. Marquis, Jiao Yuyan's master was not simple. Looking at Wang Tian Marquis' shocked expression, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, Senior Tao addict is one of the top 10 rogue cultivators in the central mainland. People who want to be his disciple can line up from here to outside of Fire God City. Tao addict Wang Tian Marquis and Mu Qinghua couldn't help but gasp. They were completely stunned and couldn't believe what they just heard. Tao addict said carelessly, You must be Yuyan's mother. I like your daughter very much, and I think highly of her talent and potential. I really want to take her as my disciple. Are you willing? Yes, of course I am willing. As a Marquis of Jiotian God Nation, Wang Tian Marquis knew how terrifying the Tao addict was. Even the current godly emperor of Jiotian God Nation didn't dare to be arrogant when he saw the Tao addict. If Jiao Yuyan could be his disciple, her future would be limitless. Seeing that Wang Tian Marquis didn't object, the Tao addict showed a satisfied smile. Kid, do you want to consider taking I as your master? Senior, you already have such a good disciple. Don't think about me all the time. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said half-jokingly, What do you mean by flip-flopping? You brat, don't you know how to talk? Feigning anger, he said, Forget it. I'm already satisfied to have you Yin as my disciple. I won't force you anymore. But if I need your help in the future, you can't refuse, or else I'll beat your ass until it's broken. Yi Chunfeng patted his chest and promised, Don't worry, Senior. I will definitely fulfill my promise to you. Hearing the conversation between Yi Chunfeng and the Tao addict, the doubts in Wang Tian Marquis' heart were resolved. He guessed that Jiao Yuyan being able to become the disciple of the Tao addict must be related to Yi Chunfeng. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with eyes full of gratitude. All right, before coming here, I helped you guys cripple that brat Yong Tian-ho and also taught that old geezer, Heavenly King 2, a lesson. From now on, He won't dare to bully you Tao addicts anymore. Although the Tao addict said it casually, it was like a clap of thunder in Wang Tianmarquis' ears. He was completely dumbfounded. To cripple Tianho Yong and teach Heavenly King Tu a lesson, perhaps only someone like the Tao addict could do that. Come on, let's go inside. I now officially accept Yu Yin as my disciple. Although the Tao addict's strength was amazing, she also had enemies in the Central World. She did not accept her as a disciple in a high-profile manner. She only let Jiao Yuyin perform the ceremony in front of Yi Qinfeng, Wang Tianmarquis, and the others, and officially accepted her as a disciple. Come, Yuyin, Shifu wants to give you 3 gifts for acknowledging me as your disciple. Tao addict fumbled around in her bosom and said, "This is a pendant made from soul-nourishing stone." Shifu obtained it after killing several big enemies in a dangerous place in the past. The second treasure is a low-grade holy artifact, the Purple Sun Array Diagram. It can be used for both offense and defense. Coupled with the Sage-level protective talisman that Brat gave you, even Nirvana's powerful people won't be able to hurt you. The third treasure is up to you to choose. With that, the Tao addict took out 5 Sage-level holy artifacts and a Tao steel. The value of each of these 5 Sage-level holy artifacts and the Tao steel was immeasurable. If they were placed in an auction, they would definitely be the highlight of the auction. Even mighty lords and imperial lords would be jealous of them. Master, I want that medicinal cauldron. At a glance, Jiao Yiyin took a fancy to a 3-legged medicinal cauldron that was entirely red, with a lifelike fire phoenix engraved on the body of the cauldron, exuding an ancient and vigorous aura. She had a feeling that if she could get this medicinal cauldron, her performance in the Heavenly Hall competition would definitely go one step further, and she would achieve unimaginable results. Yin, Master knows that you are an alchemist, but on the path of martial arts, you must remember that you can't be too complicated and messy. Otherwise, you will achieve nothing. Master can give you this medicinal cauldron, but you can't put too much energy into alchemy. The Tao addict reminded her seriously. Don't worry, Master. Your disciple knows what's important. I just want to use this cauldron to improve my performance and not lose face from Master, Jiao Yuyin said sweetly. Her cute appearance made the Tao addict very happy. Okay, then I will give you the Phoenix Burning Furnace. The Tao addict looked at Jiao Yuyin dotingly and very happily gave her the Phoenix Burning Furnace. Thank you, Master. Jiao Yuyin knelt on the ground and respectfully kowtowed 3 times before receiving the 3 priceless treasures from the Tao addict. This Tao addict was indeed one of the top 10 itinerant cultivators in the Central World. Her foundation was really too rich. Looking at the 3 great gifts that the Tao addict gave to Jiao Yuyin, even Yi Qinfeng was very tempted. However, the one that attracted Yi Qinfeng the most was the Tao tablet. Zhirao, after the Heavenly Hall competition, I plan to bring Yin away and personally teach her how to cultivate. The Tao addict drank the spiritual tea that Jiao Yuyin served and looked at the graceful Wang Tianmarquis as she slowly asked, I will listen to Senior. If there is anything that Yuyin is worried about, please forgive her. After seeing the gifts that the Tao addict gave to Jiao Yuyin, the Wang Tianmarquis was completely relieved. He was sincerely happy for his daughter. I am prepared to accept only this one disciple in this life, and I will definitely teach her everything I know. I believe that her future achievements will definitely be greater than mine. The more the Tao addict looked at Jiao Yuyin, the more satisfied she was. All right, you mother and daughter can have a good reunion for a few days. I will go find some old friends to drink and tell them that I is accepting a disciple. I will also help Yuyin to extort a few treasures. Wait, Senior, I want to exchange that Tao tablet with you. Is that okay? Through the God-Eater brain, Yi Qinfeng felt that the Tao tablet that the Tao addict took out was the Heaven and Earth Tao tablet that he had been searching for. Kid, do you know the value of this Tao tablet? What can you exchange for it? The Tao addict said with a smile. She wanted to see Yi Qinfeng's foundation. How about a stalk of living spirit grass? Yi Qinfeng thought for a while and said, Living spirit grass, I didn't expect you to have such a legendary item. However, my Tao tablet contains the Tao intent of the 10 heavens. A stalk of living spirit grass is not enough to exchange for it. The Tao addict drank her tea and said slowly, Master, just give the heaven and earth Tao tablet to Feng Chun. Jiao Yin gently shook the Tao addict's arm and said coquettishly, He is not my disciple. I have to leave all my good things to my good disciple. The Tao addict said playfully, Senior, you're treating me like an outsider. Maybe one day you'll need my help. Brat, you are threatening I. The Tao addict scolded with a smile. Well, since you have given me such a good disciple, I will exchange with you. Thank you, Senior. Yi Chenfeng smiled and used a stalk of living spirit grass to exchange for the heaven and earth Tao tablet from the Tao addict. Well, I am leaving. I look forward to your performance in the Heavenly Hall competition. The Tao addict gave the living spirit grass to Jiao Yuyan. Her body flashed and disappeared like a gust of wind. Feng Chun, thank you for finding such a good master for Yuyan. Please accept my respect. After the Tao addict left, Wang Tian Marquis looked at Yi Chenfeng with gratitude and bowed deeply to him. The Marquis was too polite. Yi Chenfeng smiled and said, Marquis, can you help me arrange another room and take care of her? Okay. Wang Tian Marquis looked at the girl from the Zhou family who lowered her head and showed a look of fear and humility. He did not ask and found another room next door and settled her down. When the Heavenly Hall competition is over, I will send you home. And I promise you that no one will bully you again. Yi Chenfeng looked at the pitiful girl from the Zhou family and promised softly. Thank you, benefactor. The girl from the Zhou family looked into Yi Chenfeng's clear eyes and suddenly knelt down and kowtowed 3 times to Yi Chenfeng. After settling the girl from the Zhou family, Yi Chenfeng returned to his room and set up a soundproof restriction. He took out the Emperor Sky Sword and summoned the sword spirit of the Emperor Sky Sword. You want to know what secrets the Emperor Sky Sword was hiding? Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1149. Sword Spirit, let me ask you, are you hiding something from me? Is this Emperor Heaven sword hiding a huge secret? This, Sword Spirit, you must know that I am your master now. If you hide anything from me, do you believe that I will destroy you? Yi Chenfeng's expression sank as he threatened coldly. No, master, please calm down. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just not sure if that place still exists. Seeing Yi Chenfeng's gloomy expression, the Sword Spirit hurriedly explained. Tell me, what secret is this Emperor Heaven sword hiding? Yi Chenfeng ordered, not allowing any resistance. The Emperor Heaven sword itself doesn't have any secrets. The 9 heavens divine nations people want to take back the Emperor Heaven sword because the Sword Spirit had no choice but to say under Yi Chenfeng's threat, back then, I had followed my old master and found an abandoned ancient herb garden in the mysterious sea. The 9 heavens divine nations' real target should be this place. However, they might have lost the map to enter the ancient herb garden. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows and asked, Can you still remember the route to enter the ancient herb garden? You should be able to. However, there are many restrictions in the ancient herb garden. Many of the heaven and earth spiritual objects have gained sentience and are terrifyingly powerful. It would not be easy to subdue them. Even my old master, who was in the nirvana heavenly realm, was only able to subdue 5 spiritual objects. The Sword Spirit replied, All right, when the time is right, you will bring me to the ancient herb garden in the mysterious sea. Yi Chenfeng had to go to the mysterious sea because the spirit tribe's second land of inheritance was in the mysterious sea. However, the difficulty of inheriting the spirit tribe's inheritance was extremely high. Yi Chenfeng planned to cultivate until he became a level 6 combat beast emperor or broke through to the divine saint realm before searching for the spirit tribe's land of inheritance. After knowing the Sword Spirit's secret, Yi Chenfeng kept it in the universe realm and took out the 2 great rewards of today, the mysterious jade marrow and the black crystal. Holding the dull black crystal, Yi Chenfeng's mind moved and the God-Eater brain started to deduce at an extremely fast speed. Streaks of terrifying soul energy forcefully seeped into the black crystal at an amplitude of tens of thousands of times per second, searching for its hidden secrets. The power of chaos after nearly 2 hours of probing. Yi Qinfeng sensed the existence of primal chaos within the black crystal and revealed a faint smile. Chaos Divine Wood. Yi Qinfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Wood. He controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to form a large number of 5-colored roots. They wrapped around the black crystal and forcefully seeped into the crystal, plundering the chaos energy within the crystal. At this time, Yi Qinfeng summoned the sky-burning sacred flame and burned the mysterious jade marrow. He wanted to use the power of the flame to melt this jade marrow. However, this jade marrow was extremely tough. Yi Qinfeng controlled the holy fire of beginnings to burn it for more than 2 hours, but it was still unable to melt. With no other choice, Yi Qinfeng summoned the vermilion bird cauldron and threw the chalcedony into it. He controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to amplify the power of the burning sky, holy fire, and continued to burn the chalcedony. However, Yi Qinfeng controlled the vermilion bird cauldron and burned it for most of the night. Only then did he manage to melt a layer of the chalcedony. It was impossible for him to melt it completely. It looked like he could only rely on brute force to break it open. Since the sky-burning sacred flame was unable to melt the chalcedony, Yi Qinfeng immediately stored the Chaos Divine Wood and the black crystal into his body. He entered the cosmic realm and called the Chaos Divine Beast, the Marquis of Qianming, over. He also summoned the sword puppet and Xingluo's avatar. Everyone, attack this chalcedony with all your might and shatter it. I need the item within this chalcedony. Yi Qinfeng raised the chalcedony high up and ordered. All right, attack. Following Yi Qinfeng's order, the sword puppet, the Chaos Divine Beast, the Marquis of Qianming, and the others wielded their strongest Dao weapons and attacked with all their might. They attacked the chalcedony that Yi Qinfeng had tossed aside. With everyone's combined strength, even a quasi-sage artifact would shatter, much less a supreme-grade Dao artifact. However, this chalcedony that seemed to have come from the sky beyond heaven was able to withstand the fierce attacks of Yi Qinfeng and the others without suffering any damage. However, Yi Qinfeng was not in a hurry. He continued to borrow the power of the cosmic realm to strengthen his own attacks. The sword puppet, the Chaos Divine Beast, and the others continued to attack. Finally, after many hours of relentless effort, this incomparably tough chalcedony finally shattered. Drops of black liquid that contained powerful soul energy dripped from the chalcedony. Yi Qinfeng collected it into the jade bottle that he had prepared beforehand. Boss, what exactly is this black spirit liquid? Why does it contain such powerful soul energy? The Chaos Divine Beast came forward and asked while blinking his eyes. If I'm not wrong, this black spirit liquid should be the legendary Heavenly Soul Liquid. Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile and said, Heavenly Soul Liquid, the Heavenly Soul Liquid that could transform one's soul. The Marquis of Qianming opened his eyes wide as he looked at the black liquid dripping from the chalcedony. A few years ago, the Marquis of Qianming participated in the Kirin Kingdom's royal family auction. One of the most important treasures was this Heavenly Soul Liquid. At that time, 8 drops of Heavenly Soul Liquid were sold for a sky-high price. In the end, the relationship between the two great holy lands of the Kirin Kingdom was completely broken because of this Heavenly Soul Liquid. Yes, it is this spirit liquid. Yi Qinfeng nodded. After spending a lot of effort, he extracted a total of 48 drops of Heavenly Soul Liquid from the chalcedony. Here, I'll give you all this Heavenly Soul Liquid. Yi Qinfeng was not stingy. He gave the Marquis of Qianming, the Spirit Fish King, and the King of Massacre 3 drops of Heavenly Soul Liquid each, allowing them to transform their souls. Then, he left the cosmic realm and went outside. It was almost daybreak. He wondered if Yu Yin was cultivating. Although Yi Qinfeng could absorb the Heavenly Soul Liquid on his own to cultivate the undying soul art, If he borrowed the nourishment of Jiao Yin's heavenly soul body, the effect would be even better. At daybreak, Yi Chunfeng came to Jiao Yin's room and lightly knocked on the door. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, Jiao Yin immediately woke up from her cultivation. She wore a thin white nightgown and was barefooted. She opened the door and welcomed Yi Chunfeng in. "Fengchen, why are you looking for me?" Jiao Yin asked in a gentle voice. "Yes, I have something good for you." Yi Chunfeng looked at Jiao Yin, who was faintly discernible in her white nightgown. Her snow-white skin and alluring cleavage were exposed. She was emitting a formless charm. Jiao Yin blinked her large eyes and asked curiously, "Have you heard of heavenly soul liquid before?" Yi Chunfeng asked with a smile. Heavenly soul liquid, the heavenly soul liquid that is said to be able to transform the soul. Jiao Yin opened her eyes wide and said in shock, "That's right. I refined some heavenly soul liquid from a jade essence. I'm going to absorb it and cultivate with you." Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "Fengchen, thank you. You've given me too much. I really don't know how to repay you." Jiao Yin looked at Yi Chunfeng with a gentle gaze and said affectionately, "Properly cultivate with Senior Tao Addict. When you stand at the peak of the Dehun continent one day, you can repay me then." Yi Chunfeng lightly scratched Jiao Yin's small nose and said with a teasing smile, "AI okay." Actually, Jiao Yin preferred another way of repaying him. However, when she saw the ambiguous relationship between the peerless beauty Shui Hanyin and Yi Chunfeng, she did not say the words in her heart. "All right, let's hurry up and cultivate. Let's strive to cultivate our souls to the nirvana heavenly realm before the Sky Hall competition. That way, our results will increase even more." Yi Chunfeng gave Jiao Yin 10 drops of heavenly soul liquid. He also took 10 drops of heavenly soul liquid for himself. The two of them went to the bed that was emitting a mesmerizing fragrance and held hands to cultivate the undying soul technique. As the two of them cultivated the undying soul technique, the soul energy of the heavenly soul liquid was unleashed to the peak. Under the tempering of the soul millstone, it continuously nourished their souls. As the communication between the two of them became faster and faster, the two of them entered a mysterious state. In this state, they felt as if they had completely merged with each other. A comfortable feeling that was hard to suppress arose in their souls, making them feel as if they were floating in the air, intoxicated by it. 1 drop, 2 drops, 5 drops. When the two of them each refined 10 drops of heavenly soul liquid, their souls had completely improved, reaching the 3-star Tao Saint realm. After breaking through, the two of them reluctantly woke up from that wonderful state that could melt them. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1150. This heavenly soul liquid is indeed mysterious. I didn't pay such a high price for it in vain. Yi Chunfeng let out a long sigh of relief and woke up from his cultivation. He could feel that his soul was more than 10 times stronger after the transformation and revealed a faint smile. When he looked at Jiao Yin and wanted to ask her about her situation, his throat unconsciously moved. At this moment, Jiao Yin was drenched in sweat. Her white nightgown was tightly wrapped around her graceful body. With Yi Chunfeng's eyesight, he could clearly see her slightly protruding jade peaks and 2 spots of pink. Her skin looked as if it had soaked in a hot spring. It was an alluring pink, as if water could be squeezed out with a pinch. Noticing that Yi Chunfeng's eyes were fixed on her chest, Jiao Yin suddenly thought of something and instinctively covered her chest with her hands. Her rosy face was like a delicate flower that made people want to pluck it. "Yin, consolidate your soul realm. I'll go out first." Feeling that the atmosphere was a little charming, Yi Chunfeng didn't stay for long. He quickly left Jiao Yin's room and returned to his own room. He took a quick cold shower to extinguish the flames in his heart. Jiao Yin, how could he not notice the affection in Jiao Yin's eyes? However, Shui Hanyin alone was enough to give him a headache. He didn't dare to accept Jiao Yuyin at all. After getting rid of the distracting thoughts in his mind, Yi Chunfeng returned to the universe realm and tried to refine the heaven-burning initial sacred fire and purple initial sacred lightning into his Tao artifact. He was preparing for the Sky Hall's competition with all his might. As the competition approached, the Fire God City became more and more lively. Almost all the major forces in the central world sent people to the Fire God City to observe this competition of the highest scale and level. Finally, the Sky Hall's competition began under everyone's attention. The Fire God City was also in an uproar on this day. Even some old monsters that lived in seclusion appeared one after another and came to the Fire God Palace. Look, that's the Nine Heavens Imperial Family's carriage. I wonder which Saint Master the Nine Heavens Divine Nation will send out for the competition. This kind of secret is not something that you and I can figure out. However, the Heavenly Hall's rewards are generous this time. I believe that the various great powers will send their best sacred masters to participate in the competition and strive for the final champion. The Imperial Chariots of the Nine Heavens Divine Nation, which had the symbol of the Nine Heavens Divine Nation's Imperial family, and were pulled by pure, draconic horses, passed through the spacious streets. The Imperial Chariots of the Eight-Head Divine Nation, the Kirin Kingdom, and the reclusive vast heaven palace appeared one after another and flew towards the Fire God Shrine. The entire street became very lively with their arrival. In front of them was the Fire God Shrine, where the Heavenly Palace competition was held every year. At the first light of dawn, Yi Chunfeng's group left the inn early and arrived at the center of the city. It was like a city within a city, enveloped by a powerful seal. The buildings were mainly red in color, and they were constructed outside the majestic Fire Divine Hall. Today, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin had both changed into alchemy robes that symbolized their identities. On their chests, there was a shining 4-star badge. Looking at Yi Chunfeng wearing the alchemy robes, revealing a natural and unrestrained handsomeness, Jiao Yuyin's gaze was constantly attracted to him. All right, you guys can go in. I'll go to the viewing pavilion and wait for your wonderful performances. Do your best. Sky-gazing Marquis looked at Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin, who she had high hopes for, and gave a few words of encouragement. She then led Master Du and the others to the tower-like viewing pavilion beside the Fire God Shrine. After the inspection, Yi Chunfeng's group of 3 entered the incomparably spacious Fire God Shrine. Seeing the scene in the Fire God Shrine, Yi Chunfeng's eyes couldn't help but shrink. On the white jade plaza of the Fire God Shrine, close to 10,000 alchemists and blacksmiths were gathered together and conversing, forming a terrifying noise. However, according to the badges on their chests, it was rare to see an alchemist above the 7th grade. Every Sky Palace competition would start with an alchemy competition, and the competition was divided into preliminaries, semifinals, and finals. Alchemists above the 7th star did not need to participate in the preliminaries and could directly enter the preliminaries. Alchemists below the 9th star could directly enter the semifinals. As for the strongest alchemists, they would only appear in the finals. Therefore, in the first few days of the competition, there were very few high-grade alchemists that appeared. However, there were some high-grade alchemists that would lower their status to participate in the preliminaries, with the goal of picking some ancient herbs from the ancient herb mountain. Only by passing the preliminaries and entering the preliminaries would one have the qualifications to enter the heavenly fire world. However, in every Sky Palace competition, at least 2/3 of the alchemists that participated in the preliminaries would be eliminated. Mu Qinghua stood beside Yi Chunfeng and gently introduced the competition to him. Heavenly Fire World? Was the Fire God Shrine not the main competition venue? Yi Chunfeng didn't know much about the Sky Palace competition, so he asked softly. That's right, the Fire God Shrine was only the preliminaries and not the final main competition venue. The true main competition venue was the Heavenly Fire World that was opened by an Almighty. Mu Qinghua nodded and said, What a big deal. Yi Chunfeng couldn't imagine how powerful that Almighty was. One would need to cultivate the rules of space to an extremely high level to be able to open up an independent space. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng suddenly felt a cold aura locking onto him. Although he didn't turn around, Yi Chunfeng could already feel who had released the aura. We meet again. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit, who was wearing a fiery red alchemist robe and had a 9th-level alchemist badge pinned on his chest, had an arrogant and gloomy expression on his face. He slowly walked over with 3 8th-level alchemists. Do we know each other? Seeing the hostility in the Saint Son of Fire Spirit's eyes, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said indifferently, "What? You don't dare to recognize me?" The Saint Son of Fire Spirit looked at Yi Chunfeng with hatred and said coldly, "If Yi Chunfeng hadn't snatched the food from the tiger's mouth, the Saint Elixir Pill would have already fallen into his hands." Every time he thought about how Yi Chunfeng had snatched away the great opportunity that should have belonged to him, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit was so angry that his teeth itched. He wanted to cut Yi Chunfeng into pieces. "Oh, I remember now. Who are you? That Fire Spirit duck, right?" Yi Chunfeng said with an exaggerated expression. As soon as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, Jiao Yuyin couldn't hold it in and laughed out loud. Her laughter was so beautiful that it almost stole the souls of the 3 8th-level alchemists behind the Saint Son of Fire Spirit. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit's eyes shot out thick flames. He stared at Yi Chunfeng and threatened, "I advise you to give back the thing that you stole from me. Otherwise, I promise that you won't be able to enter the preliminary round, and your sky pavilion won't be able to advance." "Oh, it seems that you're still asking about me. But that elixir was just eaten by me this morning. If you want it, you can wait until I go to the toilet. Maybe you'll get something." Yi Chunfeng ignored the Saint Son of Fire Spirit's threat and said mockingly, "You're looking for death." Hearing Yi Chunfeng humiliating the Saint Son of Fire Spirit in front of everyone, the 3 8th-level alchemists behind him were instantly enraged. 3 thick, murderous auras locked onto Yi Chunfeng, as if they wanted to tear him apart. "I advise you 3 to ask him about my strength before you make a move. I was able to beat him like a dead dog, so I can beat you like a dead pig." Yi Chunfeng put his hands behind his back and warned them fearlessly. "Fengchen, I admit that your strength is not bad, but the preliminaries are not about strength. I will make you pay for your arrogance." The Saint Son of Fire Spirit took a few deep breaths to suppress the anger in his heart and warned him coldly. "Then let's wait and see." Yi Chunfeng smiled and said playfully, "Let's see who will laugh in the end. Let's go." The Saint Son of Fire Spirit and the other 3 alchemists who were rebuffed glared at Yi Chunfeng and left angrily. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1151. Fengchen, do you have a grudge with the Fire Spirit Saint's son? Mu Qinghua frowned and asked softly when he saw the conflict between Yi Chunfeng and the Fire Spirit Saint's son. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test, I guess so. I fought with him for a treasure in the 9-fold fire cave, and he lost to me. Hence, we have a grudge. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said casually, "The Fire Spirit Saint's son is not simple. He is one of the youngest 9-star heavenly masters in the Central World. With his talent, he will become a sacred master sooner or later. The sacred Fire Valley behind him is even more terrifying. I don't know if the sacred Fire Valley master is here. If he is, he will definitely be a popular candidate for the champion." Mu Qinghua said seriously, "Don't worry, Elder. If I can defeat him once, I can do it again. If he insists on being my enemy, I will crush his confidence." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said confidently, "Fengchen, I know you are strong. However, the Ancient Medicine Mountain is different from other places. The Ancient Medicine Mountain is similar to the Heavenly Fire World. It has its own space, and only souls and fire seeds can enter. In the Ancient Medicine Mountain, you can only use the power of your soul. You can't use any other means or trump cards. Once your soul dies in the Ancient Medicine Mountain, you will be teleported out. The herbs you are looking for will be lost in the Ancient Medicine Mountain, and you will lose the qualification to enter the preliminaries." Mu Qinghua reminded, "Don't worry, Elder. He is destined to be my enemy. Yi Qianfeng smiled arrogantly and said domineeringly. As time passed, more and more alchemists and blacksmiths came. At a glance, there was a sea of people. It was a spectacular sight. At this moment, there were more than 10,000 alchemists on the White Jade Square. These alchemists were all connected to the Heavenly Palace in countless ways. This was also the reason why the Heavenly Palace was able to stand tall in the central world and cause the three divine kingdoms to fear it. Everyone was quiet. Suddenly, a deep voice rang out and spread to every corner of the White Jade Plaza. A white-haired old man with a ruddy complexion appeared. He was wearing a white alchemist robe with a sacred master badge on his chest. His aura had merged with the space of the fire god shrine. The plaza that was noisy just now suddenly quietened down. Looking at the old man in the air, whether it was a world-shaking talent or an arrogant and unruly person, they all revealed a look of awe. Silence. They waited for the white-haired old man to speak. I, Xianjiangxin, on behalf of the Heavenly Palace, welcome all of you who have traveled thousands of miles to participate in the alchemy competition held by the Heavenly Palace. The reward for the top 3 in the alchemy competition are the same as what was rumored to be. The first place winner can go to my Heavenly Hall's treasure cliff and choose any 3 treasures. The second place winner can choose 2 treasures, and the third place winner can choose 1 treasure. And from the 4th to the 100th place, there were different rewards. Although Xianjiangxin's voice was not loud, it spread to every corner. It was enough to show that his strength was unfathomable. No matter what, I have to fight for the top 3 in the 2 alchemy competitions. Yi Qianfeng clenched his fist and secretly swore in his heart. He had a feeling that the 3 main ingredients for refining the heavenly saint-breaking elixir could be found in the treasure cliff. He must not miss this opportunity. All right, I will not waste your time. I announce that the alchemy competition has officially begun. First, we will begin the alchemy competition. As he spoke, a polygonal stone plate appeared in Xianjiangxin's hand. When he injected a strong Dao will into the stone plate, the stone plate spun rapidly and reflected in the air. Suddenly, the entire space fluctuated violently and distorted. A mysterious space entrance appeared in the distorted space. Whiffs of medicinal fragrance leaked out from the space entrance. Just by smelling it, one would be energized. The rules of the competition are the same as in previous years. Within 2 days, you only need to gather the required herbs in the mountain of ancient medicine and refine them into elixirs to pass the competition. The elixir formula will automatically appear in your soul when your soul enters the space of ancient medicine. All right, release your soul and fire seed and enter the space of ancient medicine. Good luck, Xianjiangxin ordered loudly. As soon as Xianjiangxin finished speaking, a terrifying power rose into the air. It was like a stormy sea. Boundless hurricanes rolled the void and rushed into the distorted space entrance. Let's go in too. Mu Qinghua took a deep breath. His soul swept the black with heavenly fire and rushed into the sky. He flew towards the entrance of the space of ancient medicine. Go! Yi Qianfeng and Jiao Yuyin looked at each other. They both released their 3-star Dao Saint souls without holding back. They merged with their heavenly fire and flew into the space of ancient medicine. Although Yi Qianfeng had guessed that the Flame Spirit Saint would most likely try to stop him in the space of ancient medicine, his soul was too strong. He had reached the level of a 3-star Dao Saint and was almost invincible in the space of ancient medicine. Hence, if the Flame Spirit Saint and the others wanted to find trouble with him, it would be no different from seeking death. His soul merged with the death flame, heavenly fire, and entered the space of ancient medicine. Yi Qianfeng suddenly realized that Jiao Yuyin had disappeared. He appeared in a vast and boundless mountain range that stretched for miles. As he looked around at the towering ancient trees, overlapping peaks, and waterfalls hanging from the mountain range, a prescription appeared in his soul. The prescription had the names of 11 herbs written on it: xanthium flower, crimson stone grass, sand garden seed, fire enduring vine, grain essence leaf. Wu Zhu Yu. After memorizing the shapes and characteristics of these 11 herbs, Yi Qianfeng's soul suddenly sped up. He flew towards the boundless mountain of ancient medicine to find these 11 herbs. Although 2 days seemed like a lot of time, the mountain of ancient medicine was just too big. It covered the entire space. It was not easy to find all 11 herbs. Mu Qinghua also told Yi Qinfeng that in order to increase the difficulty, there were real and fake herbs in the mountain of ancient medicine. This was also the reason why so many alchemists would be eliminated in the first round of the competition. Fortunately, before the competition, Yi Qinfeng and Jiao Yuyan had refined over 20 drops of heavenly soul liquid. Under the miraculous mental state, their souls had improved and reached the 3-star Dao Saint level. With his powerful soul released, it covered a large area of the mountain of ancient medicine. Grain essence leaf. That was the grain essence leaf. Yi Qinfeng quickly entered the mountain of ancient medicine. After searching for more than 2 hours, he found a stalk of grass with jagged leaves. It was dark green and had 3 stalks in the shape of rice. The leaves of this stalk of grass were one of the 11 herbs that Yi Qinfeng needed, the grain essence leaf. Looking at the stalk of grass in the distance, Yi Qinfeng discreetly glanced at the shrubbery on either side of the grain essence leaf. A cold intent that was hard to detect appeared in his eyes. His body flashed as he approached. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Just as Yi Qinfeng approached, the ground beneath the grain essence leaf began to tremble. A fiery red snake, half an inch long, with a single horn drilled out of the ground. It bared its sharp fangs and bit towards Yi Qinfeng. The red-horned snake's attack was very sudden, but Yi Qinfeng had already sensed its existence. His soul energy suddenly condensed into a soul sword. The sword pierced through the air and cut the red snake in half. After killing the red snake, Yi Qinfeng was about to bend down to pick the grain essence leaf. At this time, the shrubbery on either side of the grain essence leaf shook. 2 terrifying souls launched a sneak attack on Yi Qinfeng from the left and right. They wanted to destroy his soul. Sigh, you guys really thought that you hit it well. Yi Qinfeng sighed softly. 2 large hands condensed from his soul body. With soul energy that made them despair, he crushed their soul attacks and caught them in his soul hands. Without waiting for the 2 to beg for mercy, Yi Qinfeng's mind moved. The soul hands exerted force and crushed the 2 souls, sending them out of the mountain of ancient medicine. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1152. It's a pity that you're unlucky to have met me. Controlling the soul hand to crush their souls, Yi Qinfeng immediately plucked the grain essence leaves that he needed. His body flashed and disappeared from the valley. He continued to search for other herbs in the vast ancient medicine mountain. Watermark advertisement test. There were so many restrictions. The Sky Hall selection test was indeed difficult. As he went deeper into the ancient medicine mountain, Yi Qinfeng realized that there were restrictions everywhere. Even with his powerful soul, it was difficult to penetrate them. Break. With a thought, Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul power bombarded a powerful restriction like mercury. After 3 attacks, the restriction was shattered and Yi Qinfeng's soul power entered inside. However, in the next moment, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed slightly. He discovered that there was not a single spiritual herb growing in this restriction. There was only a strangely shaped ancient tree that had withered for an unknown number of years. On the ancient tree, there were tens of thousands of colorful beetle-like insects that had sharp, poisonous horns. They were the size of fists. The instant the restriction was broken, the poisonous insects on the withered ancient tree were awakened. Ear-piercing sounds of friction rang out. These poisonous insects flapped their thin wings and flew towards Yi Qinfeng at an extremely fast speed. They wanted to devour Yi Qinfeng's soul that had invaded their domain. Death blaze, skyfire surrounded by tens of thousands of poisonous insects. Yi Qinfeng did not panic. He released the death blaze skyfire that was in his soul. Like an erupting volcano, It spat out scorching flames and burned the black poisonous insects that approached to ashes. Yi Chunfeng controlled the death blaze to burn a large number of poisonous insects to death. He didn't break out of the encirclement and leave. His deep eyes were completely locked onto the strangely shaped dead ancient tree that the poisonous insects were resting on. He could feel the existence of a pure energy within this ancient tree. Whoosh! Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly, leaving behind a trail of black flames in the air as he approached the withered ancient tree at an extremely fast speed. This action of his completely enraged the poisonous insects that covered the sky and covered the earth. They attacked Yi Chunfeng like moths to a flame, not allowing him to approach. If it was a normal fire seed, it would have been extinguished by the crazy attacks of tens of thousands of poisonous insects that did not fear death. However, the Deathblaze Skyfire had almost reached the limit of Skyfire. The crazy poisonous insects did not pose any threat to Yi Chunfeng. Very soon, Yi Chunfeng approached the withered ancient tree. What was in this ancient tree that made these poisonous insects not hesitate to die to stop him from getting close? Out of curiosity, Yi Chunfeng controlled his soul and turned it into a sword. Then, he slashed at the withered ancient tree. What a sturdy withered tree. Although Yi Chunfeng did not use his full strength, his soul was too strong. Nirvana's soul also had to avoid the tip of the sword. However, when the sword slashed at the withered ancient tree, it was unable to split it open. This made Yi Chunfeng frown slightly, revealing a trace of surprise. At this time, the poisonous insects that covered the sky saw Yi Chunfeng take the initiative to attack the ancient tree and were immediately angered. They flapped their wings and launched a ferocious attack at him, as if they were crazy. They were determined to chase him away. Controlling the Deathblaze Skyfire to resist the attacks of the poisonous insects, Yi Chunfeng raised his soul power to the limit. He once again turned into a soul sword that was dozens of feet long. Boundless soul power flowed from the tip of the sword, causing people to feel intimidated just by looking at it. Break! Yi Chunfeng roared. The soul sword that was dozens of feet long slashed down like a meteor. The entire space trembled, and no one could block it. Kacha! After being attacked by Yi Chunfeng's strongest soul sword, this incomparably sturdy ancient tree was instantly split in half. A pure soul power spread out. That was, after the ancient tree was split in half, Yi Chunfeng discovered that there was a lot of milky white jade essence in the tree. It contained powerful soul power and was extremely sticky. Could this be soul recovery marrow? A divine item that could repair souls? Looking at the milky white jade essence in the ancient tree, Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows. He recalled the information he obtained when fusing with the soul fragment and revealed a trace of surprise. Soul recovery marrow was the soul essence that the ghost vine heaven soul would have nurtured for millions of years. Its value was comparable to heaven soul elixir. No matter how severe the damage to the soul was, soul recovery marrow could repair it. It was hard to find in the central world. No wonder so many high-grade alchemists and blacksmiths were willing to take the risk to participate in the selection. This ancient medicine mountain was indeed full of opportunities. There was even a miraculous item like soul recovery marrow. Yi Chunfeng erupted with a terrifying soul power and killed the poisonous insects that were crazily fighting for the soul recovery marrow. He controlled his soul and slowly extracted the soul recovery marrow from the ghost vine heaven soulwood, leaving behind the soul recovery marrow. Suddenly, a greedy roar came from afar. An old soul felt the soul recovery power of the soul recovery marrow in the air and rushed over from the dense forest, wanting to snatch the soul recovery marrow. Yi Chunfeng was unmoved by his roar. He increased the absorption power of the soul and quickly extracted all the soul recovery marrow from the withered ghost vine heaven soulwood. Courting death, this old soul knew the value of the soul recovery marrow. If he could obtain it, he would be willing to withdraw from the Sky Hall's competition immediately. In order to obtain the soul recovery marrow, He was willing to become the enemy of the entire world. Scram! Yi Chenfeng roared. The death blaze's heavenly flames mixed with his powerful soul force swept forth, turning into a blazing giant hand. It shattered the attack launched by the Elder's soul with a single palm strike, and continued to bombard Yi Chenfeng with undiminished might. Boom! The entire space trembled. Although the old soul dodged Yi Chenfeng's flaming hand, he was still shaken by the waves of flames. He was sent flying dozens of meters away before he could stabilize his soul body. I am Nangong Zheng from the Nangong family. I have been searching for the soul recovery marrow. If you are willing to give me half of it, I will repay you generously after we leave this place. Nangong Zheng didn't expect Yi Chenfeng's soul to be so powerful that it could injure his soul body with one strike. His expression changed several times in an instant. He restrained his anger and changed his expression. He said politely. Nangong Zheng, who had never heard of Yi Chenfeng, said coldly, I advise you not to provoke me. Otherwise, I promise you will regret it. Although Nangong Zheng was very polite, Yi Chenfeng knew that this was all based on the fact that his soul was far stronger than his. Otherwise, he would have killed him and robbed him of the soul recovery marrow. Sir, one more friend means one more path. If you are willing to give me 1/3 of the soul recovery marrow, the Nangong family is willing to form a good relationship with you. We are even willing to exchange treasures of equal value for it. Nangong Zheng suppressed the anger in his heart. I don't like to repeat myself. If you continue to pester me, don't blame me for being impolite. Yi Chenfeng warned coldly. Then, under Nangong Zheng's furious gaze, he burned the venomous insects and flew far away. Damn it, just you wait. The Nangong family must get the soul recovery marrow. Nangong Zheng's gaze turned cold as he watched Yi Chenfeng leave. He swore in his heart. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1153. Time flew by. Soon a day had passed. During this day, the extremely fast Yi Chenfeng continuously passed through every corner of the ancient medicinal mountain, breaking through one powerful restriction after another. Through identification, he found 7 stalks of medicinal herbs that he needed and even picked some rare medicinal herbs. However, he did not find anything like the soul-recovering marrow. Just as Yi Chenfeng was patiently searching for the 11 herbs in the mountain of ancient medicine, the saint son of fire spirit and the others, who had been in the mountain of ancient medicine before, gathered together. They were very experienced. After exchanging with each other, they had basically gathered all the medicinal herbs they needed. They began to search for Yi Chen, Feng Jiao Yuyan, and Mu Qinghua in the ancient medicine mountain. They wanted to join forces to kill their souls and take revenge. However, the mountain of ancient medicine was too big. More than 10,000 alchemists entered the mountain of ancient medicine. They were like small fish swimming in a lake. It was like trying their luck to find one person. Just as the saint son of fire spirit and the others split up to search for Yi Chenfeng, an old figure suddenly appeared in front of the saint son of fire spirit. It was that old guy. Seeing Mu Qinghua flying out of a valley with a smile on his face, the saint son of fire spirit's eyes showed a trace of viciousness. He immediately sped up and flew over, stopping him at the entrance of the valley. It's you. Seeing the saint son of fire spirit's soul suddenly appear, Mu Qinghua's expression changed slightly. He knew that he did not come with good intentions. Without thinking, he immediately fled out of the valley. Old guy, do you think you can escape? As a 9-star master, the saint son of fire spirit's soul had reached nirvana. He was far stronger than Mu Qinghua. His soul flashed and drew a shadow in the air. He chased after Mu Qinghua at an extremely fast speed. In less than 10 breaths, the saint son of fire spirit had caught up with Mu Qinghua. The terrifying soul formed a giant hand and pressed toward him with unparalleled pressure. Blackwood heavenly fire defense. Feeling that the Saint Son of Fire Spirit's soul hand had completely locked onto him, Mu Qinghua, who had nowhere to run, immediately released the extremely hot black with heavenly fire. It broke out of his body and quickly circled above his head to resist the attack of the soul hand. Boom! The moment the soul hand touched the heavenly fire whirlpool, the entire void trembled. The two forces strongly repulsed each other in the air. Break! The flame spirit Saint Sun roared. Rolling soul power gushed out of his body and poured into the giant soul hand, increasing the attacking power of the giant soul hand. It forcibly cracked the fire vortex created by the blackwood heavenly fire. Seeing that the ashwood heavenly fire could not withstand the flame spirit Saint Sun's attack, Mu Qinghua decisively wanted to escape. However, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit reacted even faster. His body flashed and blocked Mu Qinghua's way. His rolling soul power turned into weapons of various shapes and sizes. He kept attacking Mu Qinghua like tidewater, blocking his escape route. Soul escape unable to withstand the fierce attacks of the flame spirit Saint Sun, Mu Qinghua detonated his soul without hesitation. He performed his fastest soul escape technique and fled far away. Great scarlet sky, fire, extinguish. The flame spirit Saint Sun pointed with his finger. The great red sky, fire, shot out of his finger like a fire serpent. It was like a streak of red light. It accurately hit the remnant soul of Mu Qinghua, who was using the soul escape to escape. It burned his remnant soul into ashes. Puff the moment his soul was destroyed, Mu Qinghua, who was left in the outside world, immediately woke up. Blood spurted out of his mouth. His old face looked pale. Flame Spirit Saint Sun, you have gone too far. After his soul was destroyed by the Flame Spirit Saint Sun, Mu Qinghua lost the chance to enter the preliminary round. All his years of hard work had gone down the drain. It made him feel regretful and angry. However, he was not worried about Yi Qianfeng. Instead, he hoped that the Flame Spirit Saint Sun would meet Yi Qianfeng soon. He believed that with Yi Qianfeng's power, he would definitely avenge him. Finally, it was settled. Who would be next? After successfully destroying Mu Qinghua's soul, the Flame Spirit Saint Sun showed a cold smile. He continued to search for Yi Qianfeng and Jiao Yuyin in the ancient Medicine Mountain. At this time, Yi Qianfeng found a powerful seal deep in the ancient Medicine Mountain. He was controlling his powerful soul power to attack this seal. Just what was in this valley for the seal to be so terrifying? Yi Qianfeng unleashed the full power of a 3-star Dao Saint's soul and attacked it fiercely for more than an hour. But he was only able to break this restriction. This made him very interested in what was inside the restriction. Break! Under Yi Qianfeng's relentless soul attacks, more and more cracks appeared on the seal. Finally, Yi Qianfeng forcefully broke through the seal. A thick aura of death spread out from the broken seal. It was the Death Dachira. Inside the restriction was a thicket. In the center of the thicket was a strange flower that was more than half a meter tall. It had death thorns growing on its branches and leaves. Its entire body was black, and its flowers were budding. It bathed in a scarlet light. Yi Qianfeng recognized it with one glance. This was the Death Dachira that Xia Wendy was bitterly searching for. So this strange flower was growing inside the seal. Yi Qianfeng knew how powerful the Death Dachira was. Back then, Xia Wendy had used the Death Dachira to complete her transformation. If he could obtain it, he could take this strange flower to the Sky Street Market to trade for something he wanted. He wondered what the Death Dachira was protecting. The more precious the item, the stronger the protection. Yi Qianfeng controlled his soul to form 8 soul swords that floated above his head. He slowly approached it. Yes, there was nothing protecting it. When he was 3 meters away from the Death Dachira, Yi Qianfeng was surprised to find that there was nothing protecting it. It seemed that the true guardian of the Death Dachira was itself. Looking at the Death Dachira, Yi Qianfeng controlled the 3-star Path Saint Soul to form a giant hand and grabbed it. Seeing the soul hand grab the Death Dachira, a powerful death power was released from the Death Dachira. It turned into a giant tree shadow. The shadow of the Death Dachira swayed and whipped at the soul hand. Crack! The The moment the soul hand was hit by the shadow of the death Dachira, it shattered like glass. The shadow of the death Dachira was like a hot knife through butter as it ruthlessly whipped at Yi Chunfeng. The terrifying death power forced him back. Although Yi Chunfeng's soul was powerful enough, the defense of his soul body was too weak. Once he was hit by the shadow of the death Dachira, he would definitely be heavily injured. How could he pluck the death Dachira? Yi Chunfeng floated in the distance as he stared at the death Dachira, thinking of a way to pluck it. After thinking for a long time, he summoned the death flame and prepared to pluck the death Dachira by force. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul felt 8 powerful soul auras appear. He raised his brows and revealed a sly smile. A plan came to him. Boom! Yi Chunfeng sent out another palm strike through the air, ruthlessly attacking the death Dachira. It clashed fiercely with the shadow of the death Dachira, causing a huge commotion. In the next moment, his body flickered and he hid in a bush in the distance, restraining his soul power. Just as Yi Chunfeng finished concealing himself, 8 powerful soul auras heard the commotion and quickly flew over. When they saw the death Mandara through the broken restriction, their eyes immediately burned with passion. Without even thinking, they immediately flew into the broken restriction. It really is the death Dachira. If we can pluck this flower, we will definitely make a lot of money after we go out. A slightly obese man squinted his small eyes and said excitedly, "Let's go and pluck the death Dachira together." The gray-robed old man sensed the surroundings and didn't sense Yi Chunfeng's presence. He immediately approached the death Dachira, wanting to pluck it by force. At this time, the death Dachira felt several people approaching and once again condensed the death Dachira to fight with them. Let's fight and exhaust the death Dachira's spiritual energy. Yi Chunfeng, who was hiding in the bush, revealed a crafty expression and patiently waited. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1154. Hang in there and don't give up. We'll be able to destroy this death tree shadow soon and get the death Mandara. After controlling their powerful souls and attacking fiercely for 5 minutes, the 8 of them had expended a lot of energy. However, they didn't give up in order to get the death Mandara. They gritted their teeth and persisted bitterly. They were determined to get the death Mandara. Watermark advertisement test watermark advertisement test. Under their persevering attacks, the death tree shadow was finally destroyed by the combined efforts of the 8 of them. However, in the next moment, the death Dachira that was shrouded in blood-red light suddenly shook. The death thorns that grew on the leaves shot out like a rain of swords, attacking the 8 people at close range. The 8 of them couldn't dodge in time and were pierced by the sharp death thorns. Their souls were directly pierced, and they wailed in pain as they fell in all directions. They almost lost the ability to continue fighting. Good opportunity. Taking advantage of the moment when the death tree shadow was destroyed and the death Mandara shot out the death thorns, Yi Chunfeng flew out of the bushes. The soul power in his body quickly gathered, forming a huge soul hand. With the pressure of a mountain, it pressed down on the death Mandara. Suddenly attacked, the death Mandara immediately shook and released the power of death to resist the attack of the soul hand. However, at this moment, it was at its weakest. The power of death it released couldn't resist Yi Chunfeng's soul hand at all. Sword of death, cut! With a thought from Yi Chunfeng, the 36 soul swords broke out of his body and pierced into the ground around the death Mandara flower. They revolved and cut through the fertile ground, wanting to uproot the death Mandara flower. Seeing that it was about to be uprooted by Yi Chunfeng, the death Mandara let out an ear-piercing scream. It shook its body with all its might and released a large amount of light of death, forming a whirlpool that engulfed the heavens and the earth. However, after losing the death tree shadow and shooting out the death thorns, the weakened death Mandara couldn't resist Yi Chunfeng's 3-star Tao Saint soul. In the end, the whirlpool of death was dispersed by Yi Chunfeng. It was also uprooted by Yi Feng. After leaving the nourishing soil, the Death Datura became even weaker. Yi Feng controlled its soul power, completely sealing it and storing it into his soul. I owe you a favor. You can let me do one thing for you free of charge. Yi Feng said in a low voice as he floated to the heavily injured, gray-robed old man and the others who were riddled with holes from the thorn of death. Although the path of cultivation did not require pity, Yi Feng was not willing to owe others a favor, and he did not want to provoke too many enemies for Skyview Pavilion, so he wanted to repay this favor. Your soul has reached the Nirvana heavenly realm. Sensing the powerful pressure emanating from Yi Feng's soul, the gray-robed elder, who was the strongest among them and had reached the level of Nirvana's soul, revealed a shocked expression. He was shocked that Yi Feng actually had such a terrifying soul at his age. It could be considered as such. The Nirvana heavenly realm was equivalent to a 3-star Tao saint. However, Yi Feng had just broken through to the Nirvana heavenly realm and could not be compared to the souls of those old monsters who had lived for tens of thousands of years. Since Your Excellency has spoken, we will be bold enough to ask Your Excellency for a favor. Although Yi Feng had schemed against the gray-robed elder, Yi Feng's soul was too powerful, so they did not dare to say anything. They could only take a step back and ask Yi Feng for help. All right, what is it? Yi Feng nodded and agreed without hesitation. We found a cave in the ancient medicine mountain, and the restrictions in the cave are very strong. The 8 of us are unable to break through the restrictions with our strength. We wonder if Your Excellency can help us break through the restrictions. The gray-robed elder and the others communicated telepathically. Sure. Yi Feng nodded and agreed without hesitation. However, Your Excellency has already snatched away our death mandara. Can you give the treasures in the cave to us? The gray-robed elder looked straight at Yi Feng as he spoke. All right, I promise you. However, if you are unable to obtain the treasures in the cave, then don't blame me for snatching from you. Yi Feng nodded and agreed immediately. Then it's a deal. If our strength is not enough, then we will give you the treasures in the cave. The 8 of them communicated telepathically and nodded in agreement. About 2 hours later, the 8 of them recovered their souls that had been pierced through by the death thorns. They brought Yi Feng and flew towards the hidden cave they had discovered. Very soon, they flew through the vast ancient forest and into a hidden valley. In the depths of the valley, Yi Feng saw a cave that was very difficult to detect with the naked eye due to the large amount of shrubs. What a powerful restriction! Through the lush shrubs, Yi Feng's powerful soul spirit could sense that the restrictions in the cave were extremely powerful. He guessed that the treasures in the cave should not be any less valuable than the death mandara. However, since he had already agreed to the gray-robed elder and the others, Yi Feng did not reveal any greed. He concentrated his soul spirit and penetrated the thick shrubs. He continuously attacked the restrictions in the cave and forcibly broke through them. Buzz, buzz. Under Yi Feng's powerful soul spirit attacks, the restrictions in the cave started to tremble violently. Ripples appeared in the space around it. However, the restrictions in the cave were extremely powerful. Even with Yi Feng's 3-star Tao Saint soul spirit, he was unable to break through them in a short time. We'll help you. In order to obtain the treasures in the cave, the gray-robed elder and the others all released their powerful soul spirit. They transformed into all kinds of Tao soldiers and attacked ferociously. In the end, Yi Feng and the others continued to attack for close to 2 hours before they finally broke through the restrictions in the cave. All right, as per our agreement, you guys can go in and collect the treasures first, Yi Feng said slowly. Thank you. Seeing that Yi Feng had fulfilled his promise, the gray-robed elder and the others finally felt relieved. After thanking him, they all entered the cave that was filled with thick fire chi and concealed unknown dangers. Not long after the gray-robed elder and the others entered the cave, a terrifying heat suddenly surged out of the cave. The heat was like rolling waves, gushing out of the cave and instantly melting the bushes growing around the cave entrance. After half an hour, the The gray-robed elder escaped from the cave in a sorry state. The remaining 7 souls had already died in the cave. What exactly is inside? Seeing that the gray-robed elder's soul was filled with cracks and on the verge of death, Yi Qinfeng frowned slightly and asked softly, Vermilion, Vermilion Bird. There's a Saint Beast Vermilion Bird inside. Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Yi Qinfeng raised his eyebrows and revealed an extremely shocked expression. He did not expect that there would actually be a Saint Beast in the mountain of ancient herbs. What exactly is in this cave that is worthy of the protection of a Saint Beast? Thinking of this, Yi Qinfeng felt that the thing in the cave was not to be underestimated. He took the risk and entered the cave that was filled with rolling heat waves. When he tore through the layers of heat waves and carefully entered the cave, he realized that at the end of the cave was a basin that was burning with raging flames. In the center of the basin, there was a blooming lotus that was the size of a water tank. It was red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Within the 7-colored lotus, there were 7 lotus seeds that were filled with 9 stars. A vermilion bird with a wingspan of more than 30 meters was circling above the 7-colored lotus. Its entire body was burning with red flames and dragging a dazzling flaming tail behind it. It was like the king of all birds. It screeched at Yi Qinfeng, warning Yi Qinfeng not to intrude into its territory. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1155. What kind of lotus was that? Why was it protected by a Saint Beast? Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test looking at the 7-colored lotus protected by the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Yi Qinfeng felt that this lotus was no small matter. It was probably the most precious spiritual item in the entire ancient medicine mountain. However, this 7-colored lotus was protected by the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. With Yi Qinfeng's current soul state, he was definitely not a match for the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Just the flames burning within the Vermilion Bird's body were enough to melt his soul, not to mention the Vermilion Bird's own strength. Cry, just as Yi Qinfeng was deep in thought and thinking of a way to pluck the 7-colored lotus. The Saint Beast Vermilion Bird saw that Yi Qinfeng was not willing to leave. It let out a piercing cry and flapped its flaming wings violently, creating a terrifying flaming tornado that swept towards Yi Qinfeng. Break! Yi Qinfeng's soul body suddenly condensed, and the strength of a 3-star Tao Saint suddenly erupted. It turned into a soul sword that could split the heavens and earth. It slashed down, and the vast sword might was unstoppable. It directly slashed the flaming tornado that was sweeping towards him into 2. Cry, the flaming tornado was easily destroyed by Yi Qinfeng, and this completely angered the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Its eyes turned fiery red, and a fiery red flame shot out. It had a scorching temperature, and it burned the space around it. It continuously distorted the space around it as it attacked Yi Qinfeng. Saint Fire. The flame that the Vermilion Bird breathed out was at the Saint Fire level. Fire and lightning were the nemesis of souls. Although Yi Qinfeng's soul had reached the level of a 3-star Tao Saint, he did not dare to let the Saint Fire that the Vermilion Bird breathed out touch his soul body. He quickly retreated into the cave. Sigh, looks like I have to find Yu Yin as soon as possible and work together with her. Only then will we be able to pluck the 7-colored lotus under the protection of the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. After seeing how terrifying the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird was, Yi Qinfeng gave up on the idea of plucking the 7-colored lotus by force alone. His body flashed, and he quickly left the extremely hot cave and returned outside. The 7-colored lotus inside is not something that we can pluck. Seeing Yi Qinfeng return, the disheartened, gray-robed elder sighed softly. Clearly, the destruction of the souls of his 7 companions was a huge blow to him, causing him to give up on the idea of seizing the treasure. Well, with the protection of the sacred beast, we can't take the 7-colored lotus with our current soul state. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, "After we get out of here, I will make up for your loss. You are too polite. You can't blame others for being inferior." The gray-robed old man sighed and left. After the gray-robed old man left, Yi Chenfeng didn't stay for long. What he needed to do now was to use the remaining time to find the remaining 4 herbs, then find Zhao Yuyan and plan a method to pluck the rainbow lotus with her. Although Yi Chenfeng had Zhao Yuyan's help, the danger of snatching food from the jaws of tiger under the protection of the holy beast vermilion bird was still very high. However, he still decided to take the risk. After all, the most precious spiritual herb in the ancient medicine mountain was worth the risk. Yi Chenfeng released his soul completely and searched for the 4 herbs in the ancient medicine mountain while looking for Zhao Yuyan. At this time, Zhao Yuyan was blocked by the saint's son of fire spirit and the other 3 people in a secluded valley. "Finally found you." The saint's son of fire spirit looked at the tall, beautiful, and otherworldly Zhao Yuyan with evil intentions and walked over slowly. "What do you want?" Zhao Yuyan glared at the saint's son of fire spirit and the other 3 people who surrounded her with evil intentions and asked coldly, "What do you think we want?" The saint's son of fire spirit smiled and looked at Zhao Yuyan with burning eyes. He said, "A beautiful girl like you, I really can't bear to hurt you. How about this? If you promise to stay with me for 2 days, I will let you go." "You are shameless." Zhao Yuyan's expression changed slightly. She glared at the saint's son of fire spirit who was beside himself with joy and shouted, "Oh, you're angry. But I find that you're even more attractive when you are angry. Even I am tempted." The saint's son of fire spirit showed a playful smile and said unscrupulously, "Saint's son, don't you want to take revenge on that guy? Do you think he will go crazy if we play with his woman?" The saint's son of fire spirit's companion, a short, long-haired level 8 alchemist, looked at the fairy-like Zhao Yuyan lecherously and said with a smirk, "Well, your suggestion is good. I have long wanted to try the feeling of soul intercourse and see if it is so erotic." The saint's son of fire spirit laughed. His arrogant words made it seem as if Zhao Yuyan was already a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered by him. "I am warning you. If you come close to me again, don't blame me for being rude to you." Zhao Yuyan's face turned red and her eyes were burning with anger. She warned him angrily, "How can you be rude to me if you're rude to me? Even that old guy was killed by me. Do you think you can escape from me?" The saint's son of fire spirit said arrogantly. The more he looked at Zhao Yuyan, the more tempted he was. He wanted to tear off the clothes made by her soul and have deep soul intercourse with her. You destroyed my master's soul." Zhao Yuyan's expression changed, and she said angrily, "That's right, so I advise you to be honest. Otherwise, I am afraid I will make you suffer." The saint's son of fire spirit said with a lewd smile. In his mind, he could already imagine Yi Chenfeng's expression when he found out that Zhao Yuyan had been humiliated by him. "You all deserve to die." Zhao Yuyan was completely enraged. A soul power that made the saint's son of fire spirit and the other 3 feel terrified exploded in her soul body. How is this possible? How can her soul be so terrifying? Feeling the soul power that Zhao Yuyan released without holding back, the saint's son of fire spirit and the other 3 smiles froze. They opened their eyes wide and looked as if they had seen a ghost. Boom! Zhao Yuyan slapped out with her palm, and a terrifying soul power gushed out of her body like a tsunami. It roared and attacked the saint's son of fire spirit and the other 3. Zhao Yuyan's soul had reached the level of a 3-star Tao saint, and with her heavenly soul body, her soul was even stronger than Yi Chenfeng's. In the ancient medicine mountain, where only souls could enter, she was the real, invincible existence. The saint's son of fire spirit and the others offended her was the same as offending the death god. Dodge! Feeling the power of Zhao Yuyan's palm, the saint's son of fire spirit and the others' expressions changed greatly. They all dodged to the side, and their arrogant expressions were completely replaced by fear. "Can you escape?" the furious Zhao Yuyan shouted. With a flash, she appeared beside an 8th-rank alchemist. Without waiting for him to dodge, She slapped out with her palm and ruthlessly hit his body, directly shattering his soul body and causing it to dissipate on the spot. Following that, Jiao Yuyin continued to attack. Resplendent soul power illuminated the void and swept out in all directions. The boundless soul power made all the living beings in the world tremble, causing the entire mountain valley to tremble. The other two companions of the Saint Son of Fire Spirit let out miserable cries. They were hit by Jiao Yuyan's destructive soul power, and their souls were shattered on the spot. Although the Saint Son of Fire Spirit borrowed the power of the two heavenly flames to resist Jiao Yuyan's destructive soul power, his soul body was still injured. Soul escape left with no choice. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit burned his soul without hesitation. Like a stray dog, he quickly escaped from the mountain valley. Where could he escape to? Jiao Yuyin was not prepared to let him go. She chased after him with all her might. However, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit's soul had reached the level of nirvana, and he controlled two heavenly flames. In the end, he used the complicated terrain of the ancient medicine mountain to gradually increase the distance between him and Jiao Yuyin, disappearing into the boundless mountain range. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Say button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1156. What's going on over there? Yi Qinfeng, who was flying fast in the ancient medicine mountain, suddenly saw a destructive soul power in the distance that destroyed a large area of ancient trees. He raised his eyebrows and immediately sped up to meet Jiao Yuyin, who was flying fast towards him with monstrous soul power. Yuyin, what's wrong? Yi Qinfeng immediately walked up and asked with concern when he felt the strong murderous intent from Jiao Yuyin's body. Fengchun, I finally found you. Seeing Yi Qinfeng flying over, Jiao Yuyin's murderous intent disappeared. She said angrily, that fire spirit Saint Son is too evil. He destroyed my teacher's soul and tried to do something to me. What? The elder's soul was destroyed by the fire spirit Saint Son? After hearing Jiao Yuyin's story, Yi Qinfeng's face instantly darkened. He had a strong murderous intent towards the fire spirit Saint Son. I wanted to avenge my teacher, but when I destroyed their souls, the fire spirit Saint Son resisted my attack with his powerful soul and two sky fires. In the end, he burned his soul and escaped. Jiao Yuyin said softly, Fengchun, have you found all the herbs you need? If you do, let's go after the fire spirit Saint Son and avenge our teacher. I still have two more herbs to find. Because of the soul recovery marrow, the death dachira, and the rainbow lotus, Yi Qinfeng wasted a lot of time, so he didn't have the 11 herbs he needed. Fengchun, I just killed the fire spirit Saint Son's 3 companions and scattered a lot of herbs. Why don't we go over and see if there's anything you need? Knowing that Yi Qinfeng didn't have all the herbs, Jiao Yuyin had to give up the idea of killing the fire spirit Saint Son. Okay. Yi Qinfeng nodded and flew to the entrance of the valley with Jiao Yuyin. They found a lot of herbs scattered on the ground, including the 2 herbs that Yi Qinfeng needed. Yuyin, there's no hurry to avenge the elder. Let me take you to a place. Trying to find the flame spirit Saint Son in the boundless ancient medicine mountain was like looking for a needle in a haystack. After gathering the 11 herbs he needed, Yi Qinfeng gave up on the thought of killing him and prepared to pick the 7-colored lotus. Fengchun, where are you taking me? Jiao Yuyin asked softly. A place that could possibly nurture the most precious spirit medicine in the entire ancient medicine mountain. Yi Qinfeng said, the ancient medicine mountain's most precious spirit medicine. Jiao Yuyin lightly sucked in a breath. Her delicate face revealed a deep shock as she said, what kind of spirit medicine is that? It was a 7-colored lotus flower that grew in a basin of flames. That lotus flower was condensed with 9 rainbow colors. The lotus seed flickered with 9 stars. Yi Qinfeng described the shape of the 7-colored lotus flower and said, but that 7-colored lotus flower is guarded by the holy beast vermilion bird. It is not easy to pluck it. Could it be the seven-colored nine-star lotus? The well-read Zhao Yuyan's eyes widened as a legendary saint artifact appeared in her mind. The shape of that saint artifact was almost identical to the seven-colored lotus described by Yi Chenfeng. Seven-colored nine-star lotus Yuyan. Do you know the origin of that lotus flower? Looking at Zhao Yuyan's shocked expression, Yi Chenfeng asked, I once saw in an ancient book a sacred object called the lotus flower, and that lotus flower was the seven-colored nine-star lotus. According to your description just now, the seven-color nine-star lotus and the seven-color nine-star lotus have almost the same shape. They are both born from the nurturing of flames and are seven-colored. Zhao Yuyan nodded and said, Saint Artifact Yi Chenfeng knew that the things that could be called Saint Artifact were all related to the heaven domain, and the spiritual objects of the central world could not reach the level of Saint Artifact. The seven-color nine-star lotus was a spiritual Saint Artifact, but its most precious part was not the flower itself, but the nine-star lotus seeds that could restrain all elements. The nine-star lotus seeds were one of the favorite Saint Artifacts of the Nirvana realm. With the nine-star lotus seeds, the success rate of cultivating to the Nirvana realm was almost 100%. The Nirvana Heavenly Realm experts could also borrow the nine-star lotus seeds to weaken the power of Lihan Heaven and cultivate to the extreme of the Nirvana realm, extending their lifespan. To restrain all elements, there was actually such a saint artifact in this world. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows, revealing a look of deep shock. This kind of saint artifact was no doubt a heaven-defying existence, and if Yi Chenfeng could obtain it, it would definitely be an important trump card for him to tear open the gate to the heaven domain. Yi Chenfeng could imagine, if the Nirvana realm old monsters knew that the seven-colored nine-star lotus and the nine-star lotus seeds were in the ancient medicine mountain, what kind of uproar would it cause? These nine-star lotus seeds must be obtained. Yi Chenfeng secretly made up his mind constantly thinking of ways to snatch food from the mouth of the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. When Yi Chenfeng brought Zhao Yuyan and flew towards the hidden cave at an extremely fast speed, 3 fifth-grade alchemists who were in a sorry state and whose soul bodies were filled with cracks were flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Behind them, 2 sixth-grade alchemists who were filled with killing intent were chasing after them. If you can stop the 3 of them, my Sacred Fire Valley will definitely reward you handsomely. Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but just as they were about to go around, a 6th-grade alchemist wearing a white alchemist robe with a trace of arrogance on his face shouted towards Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan. Sacred Fire Valley hearing the shout from afar, Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan both stopped, changed direction, and flew towards the alchemist at an extremely fast speed. Seeing Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan flying over, and feeling the terrifying soul power released by them, the 3 alchemists who were fleeing in a sorry state were so scared that their faces turned pale, revealing despair and helplessness. But the 6th-grade alchemist of the Sacred Fire Palace who was chasing after them revealed a complacent smile and secretly cursed, daring to snatch my Sacred Fire Valley's things. This is the result. Just as the 3 alchemists were at a loss, Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan brushed past them with extremely fast speed, and with a terrifying killing intent, they approached the 2 Sacred Fire Valley's 6th-grade alchemists. What do you want to do? If you dare to harm us, my Sacred Fire Valley will definitely not let you off. Catching the killing intent in Yi Chenfeng's eyes, and feeling the monstrous soul power released by them locking onto them, the 2 6th-grade alchemists' hearts trembled, and they brought out the Sacred Fire Valley to pressure Yi Chenfeng and Zhao Yuyan. The people they wanted to kill were the Sacred Fire Valley's people. While speaking, Yi Chenfeng's soul power erupted, condensing into 16 soul swords that were more than 10 zhang long. Carrying an unparalleled aura, the soul swords slashed towards the 2 alchemists. No, never in their wildest dreams would the 2 alchemists have thought that their inadvertent shout would actually attract 2 death gods. They hurriedly controlled 2 balls of top-grade spirit fire to defend themselves, waiting for an opportunity to escape. Chi 16 soul swords slashed down at the same time. This attack was like the Milky Way flowing backwards, cutting through everything. This attack seemed to cross the sky, and all living things would submit to it. The soul swords easily crushed the spirit fire released by the two alchemists, and directly crushed their souls, causing them to dissipate in midair. After killing the two experts of the valley, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin didn't stop. Under the dumbfounded gazes of the three fifth-grade alchemists, they turned into two afterimages in midair and quickly flew away. Finally, when there were still more than 2 hours left before the 2-day deadline, the two flew to the outside of the mysterious valley that had lost its seal and was emitting billowing hot steam. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record, and you will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1157. Yin, although our souls are powerful, our souls cannot be compared to our physical bodies. We cannot threaten the saint beast vermilion bird at all. Furthermore, the saint flame that the vermilion bird breathes out is our nemesis. The possibility of us defeating the vermilion bird and plucking the rainbow 9-star lotus is almost zero. Therefore, if we want to pluck the rainbow 9-star lotus or the 9-star lotus seed, there is only one chance. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, "What chance?" Jiao Yuyin asked. "We'll wait until the last moment before the ancient medicine mountain closes and make our move. That way, even if we lose the bet with the realm of our souls, we should be able to last until the ancient medicine mountain closes. That way, you and I will be teleported out, and we won't be killed by the holy beast vermilion bird and lose our chance to advance." Yi Chunfeng told Jiao Yuyin his plan. "This is a good idea." "Good. Then we will gamble at the last moment." Jiao Yuyin nodded and discussed with Yi Chunfeng the plan to obtain the rainbow 9-star lotus at the last moment. Time slowly passed, and after confirming the plan to obtain the rainbow 9-star lotus, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin calculated the time and waited patiently. Finally, when there was still half an incense stick of time before the ancient medicine mountain closed, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin entered the cave filled with boiling hot energy. Restraining their soul power, they flew towards the end of the cave at an extremely fast speed. That's right, the lotus was exactly the same as the one in the ancient book, so it should be the rainbow 9-star lotus. Looking at the rainbow 9-star lotus growing in the flame basin through the surging waves of flames, Jiao Yuyin's guess was confirmed. This was the rainbow 9-star lotus that was enough to make Nirvana realm experts fight to the death. The vermilion bird should be hiding in the flame basin under the rainbow 9-star lotus. Later, we will act according to the plan. You will attract the sacred beast vermilion bird, and I will obtain the rainbow 9-star lotus. Yi Chunfeng looked at the raging flames, an extremely hot flame basin, and communicated telepathically. "Good, Feng Chun, be careful." Jiao Yuyin nodded and warned, "If you can't do it, give up immediately. Don't let your soul be extinguished, or you will lose the qualification for the preliminary round." "Don't worry, I'll be careful." Yi Chunfeng nodded. As the closing time of the ancient medicine mountain drew closer and closer, the atmosphere grew more and more tense. When there were only 20 breaths left before the ancient medicine mountain closed, Jiao Yuyin suddenly moved. Like an arrow, she shot into the air with an ear-piercing sound, approaching the rainbow 9-star lotus at an extremely fast speed. Chirp chirp, sensing Jiao Yuyin's approach, a series of furious cries resounded within the scorching flame basin. The holy beast vermilion bird, whose entire body was burning with raging flames, fanned out a flaming hurricane as it rapidly flew out. Like a red cloud streaking across the void, it attacked Jiao Yuyin. Facing the holy beast vermilion bird's attack, Jiao Yuyin followed her plan and decisively dodged to the side, tried her best to lure the vermilion bird away. However, the holy beast vermilion bird was too frightening. The flaming tornadoes it stirred up incessantly burned Jiao Yuyin's soul, causing her immense pain. After its all-out attack was dodged by Jiao Yuyin, the holy beast vermilion bird immediately opened its sharp beak and spat out scorching holy flames towards Jiao Yuyan. It wanted to burn Jiao Yuyan's soul, who had invaded its territory, alive. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng, who had been waiting for an opportunity, made his move. He didn't hesitate to burn his soul, raising his speed to the limit as he flew towards the rainbow 9-star lotus. He wanted to forcefully obtain this holy object. Screech! When the holy beast vermilion bird, which was chasing after Jiao Yuyan, noticed Yi Chunfeng's sudden appearance and rapidly approaching the rainbow 9-star lotus, it immediately let out a furious screech. It gave up on killing Jiao Yuyan and turned its huge body around to attack Yi Chunfeng. Soul millstone. When the holy beast vermilion bird turned its huge body around, Jiao Yuyan unleashed her soul power to the limit, forming a huge soul millstone that ruthlessly smashed onto the vermilion bird's huge body. Although the soul attack couldn't be compared to the soul attack of the main body, Jiao Yuyan's soul had reached the level of a 3-star Dao Saint. She also had the heavenly soul body, which was rarely seen in 10,000 years, so her soul attack was just as terrifying. After being suppressed by her strongest attack, the vermilion bird's huge body trembled. Terrifying soul power passed through the scorching flames, continuously damaging the vermilion bird's body and slowing its flying speed. In the next moment, Jiao Yuyan burned her soul. Numerous flaming chains broke out of her body, like dancing spirit snakes, and locked onto the vermilion bird. Under Jiao Yuyan's relentless attacks, the vermilion bird's speed was greatly affected. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng endured the scorching flames rising from the basin and approached the rainbow 9-star lotus. Break! With a thought, Yi Chunfeng's burning soul power turned into a soul sword that was more than 30 meters long. Its terrifying sharpness was unparalleled, and it slashed towards the rainbow 9-star lotus with an unstoppable force. It was burning with flames, trying to cut through the roots. Bang! The power of this attack was astonishing, and it was enough to destroy a top-grade heaven artifact. However, when it slashed at the roots of the rainbow 9-star lotus, it felt as if it was slashing at black iron. It didn't even leave a mark. Shriek! When the vermilion bird saw Yi Chunfeng attacking the rainbow 9-star lotus that it had guarded for countless years, it was instantly enraged. The flames burning in its body instantly rose, burning away the soul millstone. Kathy holy beast vermilion bird fiercely flapped its huge wings, breaking free from the soul chains that bound its body. With one wing, it sent Jiao Yuyan flying. If Jiao Yuyan's soul wasn't strong enough, this attack would have been enough to scatter her soul. After breaking free from the chains, the holy beast vermilion bird attacked Yi Chunfeng with boundless killing intent. It was determined to kill Yi Chunfeng, who had touched the rainbow 9-star lotus. In a flash, Yi Chunfeng immediately changed his mind. He gave up on the idea of plucking the entire rainbow 9-star lotus and controlled his soul to form a huge whirlpool. He released a powerful suction force, sucking in the 9 rainbow 9-star lotus seeds from the rainbow 9-star lotus. At this time, there were only 4 breaths left before the mountain of ancient herbs closed. Although 4 breaths passed in the blink of an eye, it was too long for Yi Chunfeng. The enraged holy beast vermilion bird had already closed in on him. The holy beast vermilion bird spat out holy flames. Yi Chunfeng gritted his teeth and didn't dodge. Before the holy flames swallowed him, he finally sucked out a 9-star lotus seed from the rainbow 9-star lotus. Then, he quickly hid behind the water tank-sized rainbow 9-star lotus, avoiding the holy flames that were enough to incinerate him. As the holy flames swept past, Yi Chunfeng ignored his own safety and circled to the other side of the rainbow 9-star lotus. He continued to release his powerful soul power to absorb the 9-star lotus seed. Die! The holy beast vermilion bird spoke in human language. Its flaming wings flapped violently, forming a flaming tornado that engulfed both the rainbow 9-star lotus and Yi Chunfeng. It wanted to crush Yi Chunfeng into pieces. Wind and dust Jiao Yuyan, whose body was full of cracks and injuries, saw the scene of Yi Chen-feng being swallowed by the fiery whirlpool. She was worried about Yi Chen-feng's safety. However, she was too weak and couldn't stop the holy beast vermilion bird's furious attack. She could only pray in her heart. 3 breaths, 2 breaths, 1 breath. Buzz, buzz, buzz. A powerful teleportation force appeared in the space of the mountain of ancient herbs, teleporting all the alchemists who were scattered in every corner of the mountain of ancient herbs away. The entire mountain of ancient herbs returned to normal. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1158. Feng Chun. When her soul returned to her body, Jiao Yuyin immediately looked at Yi Chen-feng. She wanted to know if he had succeeded at the last moment. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. If he had failed at the last moment, Yi Chen-feng would have lost the qualification to enter the preliminary round. Suddenly, Yi Chen-feng opened his tightly shut eyes and met Jiao Yuyin's gaze. Then, Yi Chen-feng smiled and said, "Success. I managed to pluck 4 9-star lotus seeds at the last moment." 4. Jiao Yuyin raised her eyebrows. Her delicate face was filled with disbelief. She could not imagine how Yi Chen-feng managed to pluck 4 9-star lotus seeds, which were unimaginably valuable, while being engulfed by the flame vortex released by the holy beast vermilion bird. "Come, Yuyin, we'll take 2 of the 4 9-star lotus seeds each." Jiao Yuyin had contributed greatly to plucking 4 9-star lotus seeds. Yi Chen-feng generously took out 2 9-star lotus seeds and hid them in his palm. He gave them to Jiao Yuyin. No, Feng Chun, I only want 1 9-star lotus seed. You can keep the rest." Jiao Yuyin only wanted 1 9-star lotus seed and returned the other to Yi Chen-feng. As all the alchemists in the ancient medicine mountain came out, Mu Qinghua, whose soul was injured, slowly walked over. "Elder, we all know what happened to you. Yu Yin has already destroyed the souls of the Saint of Fire Spirit's 3 followers in the ancient medicine mountain. As for the Saint of Fire Spirit, I guarantee that he will regret what he has done." Yi Chen-feng looked at Mu Qinghua, who was filled with regret, and promised softly, "Feng Chun, Yu Yin, I'm not in a hurry to take revenge. Do your best in the competition. The honor of the Skyview Pavilion is in your hands." Mu Qinghua took a deep breath and solemnly instructed, "Don't worry, Pavilion Elder. Yu Yin and I will definitely raise the star grade of the Skyview Pavilion to above the 8th grade." Yi Chen-feng nodded and promised in front of everyone. Normally, a Heaven Pavilion would need 3 8-star alchemists to be promoted to an 8th grade Heaven Pavilion. However, if Yi Chen-feng and Jiao Yuyin both became 9th grade alchemists, then a Heaven Pavilion with 2 9th grade alchemists could be promoted to an 8th grade Heaven Pavilion. All right, the alchemist who failed in the selection can leave the Fire Divine Palace and go to the Viewing Pavilion to watch the battle. The alchemist who has gathered all the medicinal herbs still needs to refine the medicinal herbs you have gathered into the pills on the prescription before you can pass. The Sky Hall's great guardian Xianzhongxin, who was presiding over the preliminary selection, appeared in the sky above the Fire Divine Palace. He looked at the tens of thousands of alchemists who were both happy and sad as he spoke in a deep voice. "I'm leaving. Good luck." Mu Qinghua patted Yi Chen-feng and Jiao Yuyin's shoulders. He dragged his lonely figure and followed the alchemist who failed in the selection and left the Fire Divine Palace. Soon, the Fire Divine Palace's white jade square, which was packed with people just a moment ago, was left with only 3,000 alchemists. 2/3 of the alchemists were eliminated. "Flame Spirit Saint's son, I will definitely make you pay a painful price for your actions." Yi Chen-feng swore in his heart as he looked at the Flame Spirit Saint's son, whose face was as dark as water. "All right, you only have 2 hours to refine pills. If you can't form pills within 2 hours, you will be eliminated," Xianzhongxin announced loudly. Just as Xianzhongxin finished speaking, balls of scorching flames rose in the white jade square. The entire white jade square was like a huge brazier. It was very spectacular. "Ian, let's begin." Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and cleared his mind as he said softly, "All right." Jiao Yuyan nodded. She did not use the quasi-sage treasure cauldron given to her by the Tao addict. Instead, she summoned the medium-grade Tao treasure cauldron and began to refine the pseudo-Tao pill on the prescription. Yi Chenfeng did not summon his cauldron. Instead, he used his mind to control the death blaze, heavenly fire, and turned it into a cauldron. He quickly purified the impurities in the 11 main herbs and refined the pseudo-Tao pill, the Jade Dew pill. Although the Jade Dew pill was one of the more difficult pills to refine among the pseudo-Tao pills, it was not difficult for Yi Chenfeng at all. Under the scorching heat of the death blaze, heavenly fire, the 11 herbs instantly withered and melted, turning into a large amount of essence. Bang! 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 When Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan were using their mysterious alchemy skills to refine pills smoothly, the white jade square suddenly burst with the sound of pills exploding. Looking at the black medicinal dregs in the cauldron, the alchemists who had failed could not hide their disappointment. The reason they had failed so quickly was that the medicinal herbs they had found in the mountain of ancient medicine had been mixed with fake medicinal herbs, which led to their failure. Time slowly passed. After more than half an hour, a refreshing medicinal fragrance wafted out of the white jade square. Yi Chenfeng, Jiao Yuyan, the flame spirit saint's son, and the others successfully refined the impurities and began to condense their pills. During the process of condensing their pills, Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan used the same alchemy skills to condense pill patterns in the void as if they had a life of their own. They fused into the rapidly condensing pills, forming pill patterns on the surface of the pills and increasing the quality of the pills. After about half an incense stick's worth of time, 9 pills rose into the air at almost the same time. Yi Chenfeng, Jiao Yuyan, and the Flame Spirit Saint's son completed their alchemy at the same time. After the 3 of them, many more alchemists completed their alchemy. Soon, an hour passed. Almost 80% of the alchemists completed their alchemy, but nearly 300 alchemists failed and were eliminated. After the completion of the alchemy, a powerful soul power was released from Xianzhongxin's Sea of Soul, covering the entire white jade square. He was multitasking, quickly checking the quality of everyone's alchemy. If the quality was too low, they would be eliminated. Under Xianzhongxin's powerful soul power, dozens more alchemists were eliminated because the quality was too low. In the end, out of the 10,000 alchemists, only 2,700 passed the preliminary selection. The rest were all eliminated. Congratulations on passing the first round of selection. Now, I will give you your rewards. As he spoke, the yin-yang ring in Xianzhongxin's hand shone with a fiery light. 1,000 precious fire spirits were like a sea of fire, rising into the air. The rolling heat caused the temperature of the entire white jade square to rise. These 1,000 fire spirits are your rewards, but you can only subdue them with your soul power. Then, you have to find a way to keep your fire spirits within the time it takes to burn a stick of incense. This will test your soul power and control of fire. After the time it takes to burn a stick of incense, you will be eliminated if you don't get a fire spirit. Xianzhongxin looked at the burning eyes of the alchemists and said solemnly, "Wow." As soon as Xianzhongxin's words fell, the entire white jade square was in an uproar. No one expected that these 1,000 fire spirits were not only a reward, but also a test. More than 2,700 alchemists were competing for 1,000 fire spirits. This meant that nearly 2/3 of the alchemists would be eliminated. They had never thought of such a cruel competition. Well, you have 2 hours to rest. After 2 hours, you will begin to subdue the fire spirits. Xianzhongxin announced loudly after seeing everyone's expressions. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1159, Fire God Realm, the most mysterious mustard seed space above the Fire God Palace. It was also the place where the Sky Palace's magnates cultivated. Interesting, really interesting. I didn't expect that little guy to give us another surprise. Sky Palace Master Xian Hong smiled faintly as he looked at the image projected by a huge light wall above the fire god realm. The image projected by the light wall was the scene of Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yian working together to forcefully pluck the 9-star lotus seeds under the protection of the sacred beast Vermilion Bird. Yeah, the sacred beast must be very depressed now that the little guy snatched away 4 9-star lotus seeds at the last moment. Vice Palace Master Xian Qingyun said with a smile. Where did that little guy come from? His soul has reached such a level that even the sacred fire from the Vermilion Bird couldn't melt his soul instantly. Great Elder Xian Zhongting was very curious about Yi Qinfeng's identity and background. That little guy should have a very powerful master. Otherwise, he wouldn't have rejected the Tao addict's offer to take him as a disciple. However, according to Yin Ryu's confirmation, the blood of our human race flows in that little guy's body. Just this point alone makes him worthy of our nurturing. Xian Hong said slowly. He was the person behind the scenes who asked Yin Ryu to help Yi Qinfeng out. Palace Master, what do you think that little guy will get in the end? Xian Qingyun also admired Yi Qinfeng very much and asked softly. I know too little about him. I don't know to what extent he has cultivated his alchemy skills. However, with his heaven-defying methods and powerful soul, he should have a chance to rush into the top 10 of the alchemy competition. Xian Hong pondered for a moment and said, Top 10? With his age, no matter how heaven-defying he is, it's impossible for him to refine a quasi-sage pill. Great Elder Xian Zhongting said doubtfully when he thought of Yi Qinfeng's age. After all, to rush into the top 10 of the alchemy competition, just refining an ancient path pill was not enough. One had to refine a quasi-sage pill. Refining a quasi-sage pill required not only a powerful soul, but also a profound alchemy inheritance and a powerful flame. It also required a long time of accumulation and thousands of experiments. This was also why there were so few saint alchemists and saint artifact masters in the central continent. When this little guy entered the ninefold flame caverns in the ancient medicine mountain, which one of you would have thought that he would be able to obtain the sacred pill, subdue the sacred flame, and steal the 4 9-stars lotus seeds under the protection of the sacred beast Vermilion Bird? Xian Hong asked. It seems that the palace master feels that he will create another miracle. Xian Zhongting said with a smile. There is this possibility. Let's wait and see. Xian Hongzheng nodded and said. But what Xian Hongzheng and the others did not expect was that Yi Chunfeng's goal was not to enter the top 10 of the alchemy competition, but to enter the top 3 of the alchemy and artifact refining competitions. All right, 2 hours are up. Get ready. Begin. Following Xian Zhongxin's order, a powerful soul rose into the air and rushed towards the sea of fire like a long river. The 1,000 groups of fire spirits were fighting to subdue them and compete for the qualifications to advance to the next round. At this time, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yin looked at each other and released their powerful souls to approach the 2 sacred Fire Valley disciples who were trying their best to subdue the fire spirits. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yin's souls were too powerful. Under their soul attacks, the 2 sacred Fire Valley's disciples, who had just subdued their fire spirits, had their fire spirits forcefully snatched away and their souls were torn apart. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yin controlled the 2 groups of fire spirits and turned them into an intimidating dragon and phoenix. Rolling up a boundless sea of fire, they whistled and attacked the 12 sacred Fire Valley disciples. Under the 2's exquisite fire control attacks, the sacred Fire Valley disciples could not resist at all. Their souls and the fire spirits were constantly torn apart by the fire dragon and fire phoenix. Damn it! Seeing the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples being incinerated by Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yin, the fire spirit saint was furious. He immediately controlled the fire spirit to turn into a ferocious giant fire tiger and pounce forward. Roar! Yi Chunfeng controlled the fire dragon to let out an earth-shattering dragon roar. It twisted its huge body to meet the fire tiger controlled by the fire spirit saint, and engaged in an intense battle in the air. Endless flames burst out. While the fire dragon and fire tiger were fighting fiercely in the air, Jiao Yuyan controlled the fire phoenix to incinerate the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples like the autumn wind. In an instant, only the fire spirit saint was left in the entire sacred Fire Valley. The rest of the disciples' souls were all extinguished. The fire spirits that they had subdued were also snatched away by the others. With their souls extinguished, the sacred Fire Valley disciples immediately suffered soul backlash. However, in order to enter the preliminary round, they did not give up. They ignored the damage to their souls and continued to release their souls into the air to fight for the fire spirits. Screech! A series of sharp bird cries rang out. Jiao Yuyan controlled the fire phoenix to descend from the sky, rolling up a sea of flames. Once again, the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples were incinerated and damaged. Feng Chun, are you really going to fight to the death with my sacred Fire Valley? The pale-faced fire spirit saint did not expect Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan to be so ruthless. He transmitted his voice in anger. What's wrong? You're angry already? Yi Chenfeng smiled and said, the game has just begun. Enjoy it slowly. As he spoke, Yi Chenfeng moved his mind. The ferocious fire dragon suddenly spun and formed a powerful fire whirlpool, wanting to crush the fire tiger. Feeling the terror of the fire whirlpool, the fire spirit saint's face changed slightly. He quickly controlled the fire tiger to jump continuously in the air, dodging the fire whirlpool. Let's see where you can escape to. Yi Chenfeng continued to increase his soul power, controlling the fire whirlpool to chase after the fire spirit saint's fire tiger. He was determined to crush its soul. At this time, Jiao Yuyan controlled the fire phoenix to attack with full power. She also formed a fire whirlpool to block the fire spirit saint. Damn, those two are so daring. They dare to go against my sacred Fire Valley again and again. After today's competition, I will not forgive them. In a quiet room in the spectator pavilion, a middle-aged man with a tall and sturdy body and fiery red hair, who looked a little similar to the saint son of Fire Spirit, saw through the light wall that almost all of the sacred Fire Valley's disciples were killed, and the saint son of Fire Spirit was chased by Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan like a stray dog. He was so furious that he couldn't restrain his anger and roared loudly. And this red-haired man was the sacred Fire Valley Master, Nirvana's Strength, Fire Sky Halberd, who had the title of Saint Master. Fire Spirit Duck, aren't you very awesome and strong? Why are you running away like a mad dog? I really wonder if your level 9 Heavenly Master Badge was picked up. Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan were chasing after the Fire Spirit Saint controlled by the Fire Spirit Saint. At the same time, they were sneering at him to disturb his mind. Just you wait. The sacred Fire Valley will definitely avenge you. The Fire Spirit Saint gritted his teeth and fought back. He did not dare to be distracted at all. He tried his best to avoid Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan's pursuit. Because Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan were too powerful and the fire whirlpool they formed was too terrifying, no one dared to help the Fire Spirit Saint. They could only watch him run away like a stray dog. In order to avoid Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan's pursuit, the Fire Spirit Saint tried his best. The Fire Spirit Saint seemed to be rolling and crawling at the same time. At this time, the Fire Spirit Saint felt that time was so hard to pass. Just when he could not hold on any longer, 30 minutes finally passed. The Saint's son of Fire Spirit, who was so tired that his soul almost collapsed, escaped the disaster. He guarded the Fire Spirit that he controlled and entered the preliminary round. However, although he advanced, the scene of him being chased by Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan in the sky made him feel extremely humiliated. In addition, all the disciples of the Sacred Fire Valley were killed except for him. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. You too, just you wait. I won't forgive you. The Fire Spirit Saint glared at Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan with his blood-red eyes. He gritted his teeth and swore. What a coincidence. I also want to say the same thing to you. I will not forgive you. Yi Chenfeng's lips curled up slightly and said tit for tat. Mobile reading site. Book address In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1160. Alright, today's selection is over. Those who have advanced, get ready. The preliminary round will begin tomorrow morning. Xian Zhangxin used his superpower and left a spiritual mark on the 1,000 advanced alchemists as he announced. Let's go, Yuyan. Let's go back. Yi Chenfeng glanced coldly at the flame spirit Holy Sun and the others, who were furious. He then walked out of the fire shrine. Fengchun, B*TCH, do you really think that the Sacred Fire Valley is easy to bully? Someone will show you how powerful the Sacred Fire Valley is. Looking at Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan's backs, the flame spirit Holy Sun took out his messaging bead. Fengchun, Yaner, you did well today. Keep up the good work tomorrow and enter the semi-finals. Wang Tian Marquis already knew about Mu Qinghua's experience and was disgusted by the flame spirit Holy Sun's actions. He did not blame the two of them and said with a smile, "Don't worry, mother. Fengchun and I will give you a big surprise in this Heavenly Hall competition." Jiao Yin said sweetly as she hugged the Wang Tian Marquis arm. Her beautiful eyes were like crescent moons. After offending the Sacred Fire Valley, you still want to continue participating in the preliminary round? At that moment, a strong baleful aura appeared and locked onto Yi Chenfeng and the others. He spoke arrogantly. Sky-gazing Marquis' expression changed slightly as he looked behind him. He saw Fire Sky Halberd, who was wearing a fiery red robe and releasing a mountainous aura, leading a group of experts from the Sacred Fire Valley, slowly walking over and blocking their path. Sacred Fire Valley Master, do you want to become enemies with the Nine Heavens Holy Nation? Although Fire Sky Halberd was more powerful than the Wangtian Marquis, the Wangtian Marquis was still a Marquis of the Nine Heavens Holy Nation. She was not afraid of Fire Sky Halberd because of the Nine Heavens Holy Nation. Moreover, Jiao Yin had the Tao Addict as her master. They had a stronger backing. Jiao Rao, I will give face to the Nine Heavens Holy Nation and let you off this time. However, you must let me deal with this brat. Fire Sky Halberd said as he looked coldly at Yi Chenfeng, who had snatched the divine elixir away. At this time, the Flame Spirit Saint and the others walked to the side of the mighty Fire Sky Halberd. They looked at Yi Chenfeng mockingly, waiting for him to kneel and beg for mercy. Sacred Flame Valley Master, Fengchun is an honorary guest of my Sky-gazing pavilion. I will not hand him over to you. Sky-gazing Marquis said without backing down. So you're saying that you're determined to make an enemy out of my Sacred Fire Valley? Fire Sky Halberd's expression darkened as he glared at Wang Tian Marquis. I have no intention of becoming enemies with the Sacred Fire Valley. As for why Fengchun wants to take revenge on the Sacred Fire Valley, I think the Flame Spirit Saint Sun knows best. Wang Tian Marquis said indifferently, Good Spirit, Jirao, do you really think that with the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom backing you, I won't dare to deal with you? Let me tell you, Heavenly King 2 and I are close friends. Do you want me to invite Heavenly King 2 over before you submit? Fire Sky Halberd's eyes were cold as he threatened. Right and wrong have their own twists and turns. Justice is in everyone's heart. I think that even if His Highness were to come, he would only side with reason and not kinship. The Marquis smiled and fearlessly said, Such a glib tongue. However, even if you have iron teeth, don't think that I'll let him go. Fire Sky Halberd didn't expect the Marquis to not give him any face. The fire in his heart burned even more fiercely as he glared at the Marquis. At this time, more and more spectators were watching the conflict between the two, but no one came forward to mediate. Yi Chenfeng slowly stepped forward and stared at the ferocious Fire Sky Halberd. He fearlessly said, Sacred Fire Valley Master, Fire God City is not your Sacred Fire Valley. It is not a place for you to act arrogantly. Have you come to the wrong place? You court death. Fire Sky Halberd didn't expect Yi Chenfeng to teach him a lesson in front of so many people. A terrifying aura burst out from his imposing body and swept towards Yi Chunfeng like raging waves, wanting to force him to kneel on the ground. Facing the aura released by Fire Sky Halberd, Yi Chunfeng stood in front of Jiao Yuyan. The energy of the true soul pearls in his 5 apertures burst out and instantly filled his body. Relying on his absolute strength, he resisted the aura that was enough to suffocate a level 6 combat beast emperor. He straightened his back and stood majestically. Sacred Fire Valley Master, come at me if you have the ability. What's the point of bullying a junior? Anger burst out from Heavenly King 2's plump body and bombarded the aura released by Fire Sky Halberd as he said furiously. Just as the battle was about to break out, the furious Fire Sky Halberd saw Heavenly King 2 and Di Mingyue, who was wearing a long emerald dress and had an extraordinary temperament. Di Mingyue raised her head like a noble peacock and walked towards them from afar. Seeing Heavenly King 2 appear, Fire Sky Halberd revealed a cold smile and shouted, "Heavenly King 2, your subordinates are doing evil and are openly going against our sacred Fire Valley. Shouldn't you do something about it?" Heavenly King 2's soul was extremely strong. He had already noticed the conflict between Fire Sky Halberd and Heavenly King 2's day. However, Heavenly King 2 had to give Heavenly King 2 some face now that Heavenly King 2 had the support of the Tao Addict. He didn't want to have another conflict with Heavenly King 2's day. As if he didn't hear Fire Sky Halberd shout, he glanced at him and quickly left with Di Mingyue. Heavenly King 2, Fire Sky Halberd continued to shout when he saw Heavenly King 2 avoiding him. Fire Valley Master, are you really close friends with Heavenly King 2? Why do I feel that Heavenly King 2 is looking at you like you're the plague? Aren't you bragging a little too much? Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile as he looked at the surprised Heavenly King 2 and said mockingly, "You, Fire Sky Halberd was indeed close with Heavenly King 2's day." He didn't understand Heavenly King 2's actions, and Yi Chunfeng's mockery made him even angrier. At this moment, Heavenly King 2, Jiao Yuyan, and the others suddenly revealed a smile. This made Fire Sky Halberd feel extremely humiliated. He couldn't control the anger in his heart anymore. It doesn't matter whether Heavenly King 2 is here or not. Your fates are destined to be unchangeable. Today, I'll let everyone know that there's only one outcome for offending our sacred Fire Valley, and that's death. Fire Sky Halberd had never seen such an arrogant junior. If he couldn't teach them a painful lesson today, the sacred Fire Valley's reputation would be ruined. This made him reveal his killing intent towards Yi Chunfeng. Just as he was about to kill Yi Chunfeng, he suddenly felt danger behind him. His heart tightened, and he instinctively dodged to the side. However, the moment he dodged, an unimaginable power descended from the sky. It was like a towering mountain that ruthlessly pressed down on his body, causing his body to tremble. He instantly lost the ability to dodge and froze on the spot. In the next moment, a large foot ruthlessly kicked him in the butt, destroying his body's defenses and sending him flying. The sacred Fire Valley Master, Nirvana's expert, and Central World's top Sage Master, Fire Sky Halberd, was in an extremely sorry state. He fell head first onto the ground. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You'll be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1161. Who? Fire Sky Halberd, whose face was covered in dust, crawled up from the ground. He was like an enraged lion, glaring with his terrifying eyes and roaring angrily. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test 1. A feeling of humiliation that he'd never experienced before filled his heart, and it completely stimulated the ferocity and killing intent in his heart. At this moment, he only wanted to kill. He wanted to use the most bloody method to kill the person who'd launched a surprise attack against him and wash away the humiliation in his heart. "I'll kick you." The Tao Addict, who was dressed in a linen robe, picked her nose and said arrogantly. She did not have the demeanor of a master. Behind the Tao Addict, there was a middle-aged man and 2 old men. Like the Tao Addict, The three of them were dressed in ordinary clothes and did not reveal any aura. However, when the three of them stood there, they formed an invisible monstrous chi, which made people not dare to look at them directly. The Tao addict looking at the Tao addict in a linen robe, the anger on Fiery Sky Halberd's face disappeared instantly, and his brows were tightly knitted together. He had never offended the Tao addict, so he could not figure out why the Tao addict would suddenly help Wang Tian Marquis and others to teach him a lesson. But thinking of the Tao addict's strength and status in the Central Continent, Fiery Sky Halberd knew that he could not offend her. He had to suppress the anger in his heart and forced a smile that was uglier than crying. He said, "Senior, I know I did not offend you. Why did you sneak up on me?" "Sneak up on you?" The Tao addict sneered and said rudely, "You are not worthy of my sneak attack. Do you really think you are invincible just because you are the master of the sacred Fire Valley? Then why did you attack me?" Fiery Sky Halberd saw that the Tao addict did not give him any face and trembled with anger. But the Tao addict's aura was too terrifying, and the three people behind her were even more terrifying. He could only suppress his anger and ask politely, "I was teaching you a lesson. Don't be so arrogant." The Tao addict scolded loudly, "Senior, do you know them?" Hearing the Tao addict's words, Fiery Sky Halberd had a bad feeling and asked in a low voice, "Little Halberd, I think you have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. You dare to bully anyone. Do you think Nirvana's strength is invincible?" The Tao addict looked at Fiery Sky Halberd, who was livid and trembling uncontrollably, and scolded loudly. Halberd, hearing how the Tao addict addressed Fire Sky Halberd, Yi Chenfeng deliberately laughed. Although the onlookers did not laugh, their faces turned red. This form of address was too insulting. Fire Sky Halberd was so angry that he almost vomited blood. "Senior, I didn't mean to bully them, but they went too far and were arrogant. Not only did they openly snatch my son's treasure, but they also deliberately targeted my sacred Fire Valley in the elimination round just now, causing all the other disciples to be eliminated except for my son." Fire Sky Halberd glared at Yi Chenfeng, who had mocked him. He gritted his teeth and explained stubbornly. Yi Chenfeng sneered as he retorted. Valley Master Hua's ability to distort the truth was truly impressive. "What? You still want to quibble?" Fire Sky Halberd glared at Yi Chenfeng with his blood-red eyes. He couldn't wait to cut Yi Chenfeng into 1,000 pieces to vent the hatred in his heart. "Valley Master Hua, since you say that I'm quibbling, can I ask you and your son a few questions?" Yi Chenfeng ignored Fire Sky Halberd's angry eyes and sneered. "That treasure is an ownerless item in the sevenfold fire domain. Your son and I were competing fairly, but his strength was inferior to mine, so I snatched the treasure away." "Why did you say that I snatched your son's item? Is the ninefold fire cave the private property of your sacred Fire Valley? Also, you said that I targeted your sacred Fire Valley in the elimination round just now. But why don't you ask why Yu Yin and I targeted your sacred Fire Valley instead of others among more than 2,000 people? Your son went too far. If he didn't deliberately take revenge on me by destroying the soul of the Pavilion Elder in the ancient Medicine Mountain and insulting Yu Yin in public, I wouldn't have targeted him for no reason." "What? Insulting Yu Yin in public?" Before Fire Sky Halberd and the Fire Spirit Saint could refute, a surge of anger burst out from the Tao addict. "Fire Sky Halberd, do you believe that the four of us will go to your sacred Fire Valley, destroy your foundation, take away the 5 elements sacred fire, and remove your sacred Fire Valley from the central world?" "Senior, please don't be angry. This is just nonsense. Senior, please don't take it seriously." Fire Sky Halberd didn't know the relationship between Jiao Yuyin and the Tao addict. Looking at the agitated and furious Tao addict, he kept explaining. "Yuyin, is what Fengchen said true? Someone wanted to humiliate you in the ancient Medicine Mountain." The Tao addict didn't listen to Fire Sky Halberd's explanation. She looked at Jiao Yuyin and asked in a low voice, "Master, what Fengchen said is true. The Fire Spirit Saint held a grudge against Fengchen and deliberately participated in the elimination round to take revenge on us. My master's soul was destroyed by them and lost the qualification for the preliminary round. They blocked me at the entrance of the valley and tried to humiliate me. If my soul wasn't strong enough, I'm afraid. At the end, Jiao Yian bit her lips and didn't know how to continue. Master. Hearing Jiao Yian's address of the Tao addict, Fire Sky Halberd was stunned. The Fire Spirit Saint was stunned. The onlookers were also stunned. At this time, Fire Sky Halberd finally knew why the Tao addict suddenly attacked him. He also knew why Wang Tian Marquis and the others were not afraid of him. He also understood why Heavenly King Tongtu looked at him like a plague. It was all because Jiao Yuyin was the Tao addict's disciple. Fire Sky Halberd, how dare you humiliate my disciple? I will destroy you today. The Tao addict was angry. The explosive power in her body shook the whole space. She grabbed the void and directly grabbed Fire Sky Halberd, whose face changed greatly in front of her. Senior, it's all my fault. My father didn't know. He was deceived by me. If you want to punish someone, punish me. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit knew how terrifying Qi was. He also knew the power he controlled. If he really wanted to destroy the Sacred Fire Valley, the Sacred Fire Valley would not be able to stop him. Helplessly, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit could only stand up and kneel on the ground, kowtowing and apologizing. You want to humiliate my disciple? The Tao addict's pupil shrank. Her eyes, like two spears, suddenly condensed and directly pierced the Saint Son of Fire Spirit. It broke his body's defense and penetrated his body. A lot of blood flowed out of his body. Senior, please have mercy. As long as you are willing to forgive us, I am willing to apologize. The Fire Spirit Saint was Fire Sky Halberd's favorite son and the future hope of the Sacred Fire Valley. If he was killed, it would bring irreparable loss to the Sacred Fire Valley. In desperation, Fire Sky Halberd could only humiliate himself and beg for mercy. Tao addict, you are still so hot-tempered. At this time, a deep voice suddenly resounded. An old man with snow-white hair and a ruddy complexion, wearing a white alchemist robe, suddenly walked out of the crowd. He looked at the furious Tao addict and slowly said, "This old man with a youthful face was as famous as the Tao addict. He was one of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World. He had practiced alchemy to an incredible level. He was even more famous than Master Jimia. He was Yao Yan, who had great appeal. When Yao Yan appeared, a middle-aged man, standing behind the Tao addict in a black robe with long black hair, casually draped over his shoulders, suddenly opened his eyes. Invisible sword light burst out from his eyes, which made people not dare to look directly at him. The black-robed man also had a terrible identity. He was also one of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World. He was known as the absolute sword of the Emperor of 10,000 swords. His attacking power was even above the Tao addict. 3 of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World appeared at the same time, which immediately became the absolute focus. The news was spread very quickly and caused a great uproar in the Fire God City. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1162. Yao Yan, you have to stand up for the Sacred Fire Valley. Looking at the unfathomable Yao Yan, who was walking slowly with a faint herbal fragrance, the Tao addict's face darkened, and she said coldly, "Tao addict, Fire Sky Halberd is my disciple. Can you spare him for I's sake?" Looking at the hostile Tao addict, Yao Yan showed a friendly smile and said calmly, "I was wondering why the Sacred Fire Valley was so arrogant and dared to bully my disciple. It turned out that it was you who supported them." The Tao addict looked deeply at Yao Yan's seemingly harmless face. She suppressed the anger in her heart and said coldly, although the Tao addict could ignore the Sacred Fire Valley, she still had scruples about Yao Yan, who was also one of the top 10 rogue cultivators. However, she was not worried about Yao Yan's strength, but Yao Yan's terrible appeal. Many old monsters in the Central World were inextricably linked with Yao Yan and had received his favor. If those old monsters jumped out of their coffins to defend Yao Yan, the Tao addict would have a headache with her strength and influence. Tao addict, they're indeed wrong in this matter. However, as the saying goes, it takes two to clap. Your disciple and Fire Sky Halberd are actually indirect victims. Yao Yin looked at the Tao addict, who gradually calmed down and said slowly, "What do you want to say?" The Tao addict asked. "Whoever started the trouble should end it. Since this matter was caused by the younger generation, should it be left to the younger generation to solve it?" Yao Yin looked at Yi Chenfeng. Although his eyes were gentle, there seemed to be two flames burning in Yi Chenfeng's eyes. "Senior is right. Since this matter was caused by me and the Saint Son of Fire Spirit, let us finally solve it." Hearing the threat in Yao Yan's words, Yi Chenfeng felt that the Tao addict was a little afraid of Yao Yan. He did not want to make things too awkward, so he slowly stood out and said, "How do you want to solve it?" Yao Yan showed a faint smile and asked softly. In the Central world, everything depended on strength. Being strong was a kind of arrogance, and being weak was a kind of mistake. I will make a bet with the Saint Son of Fire Spirit. We will bet on our final results in the alchemy competition. If I win, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit will kowtow to me 3 times in front of everyone. In the future, when you see me, you will stay away from me." Yi Chenfeng said indifferently as he looked at the pale-faced flame spirit Holy Son, who was kneeling on the ground with 2 bloody holes in his body. "All right, I promise you." Hearing Yi Chenfeng's suggestion, the flame spirit's Holy Son agreed without even thinking. "Huling, don't be in a hurry to agree. Listen to what I want first," Yi Chenfeng said with a calm expression and a faint smile. It was as if he had great confidence in himself. "What do you want?" The flame spirit saint asked coldly. "I want your divine sense secret method that can increase strength through the amplitude of the 2 heavenly fires," Yi Chenfeng said with a smile. As soon as Yi Chenfeng finished speaking, the flame spirit saint's face stiffened. He did not expect Yi Chenfeng to be so greedy. He even asked for the number 1 divine sense secret method of the sacred fire valley. "What? You don't dare?" "If you don't dare, then I can only ask the Tao addict to help us get justice," Yi Chenfeng said sarcastically. "All right, I promise you." Fire Sky Halberd, who had been caught by the Tao addict's hand of Will of Wei, agreed on behalf of the Flame Spirit Saint. "Feng Chun, what if you lose to me?" The Flame Spirit Saint stared at Yi Chenfeng with his blood-red eyes, gritted his teeth, and questioned him. "You can state the conditions," Yi Chenfeng said generously. "If you lose to me, you will kowtow to me 3 times in public and compensate me with the divine elixir," the Flame Spirit Saint said loudly. The divine elixir. Hearing the Flame Spirit Saint shout, the onlookers exclaimed and looked at Yi Chenfeng. Some people even looked at Yi Chenfeng coldly, as if they were plotting something. "All right, I promise you." Yi Chenfeng narrowed his eyes and looked at the Flame Spirit Saint, who had deliberately said the divine elixir and pushed him to the edge of the battle, and agreed in a low voice. "Tao addict, can you let him go now?" Yao Yin took a deep look at Yi Chenfeng, turned his eyes to the Tao addict, and said with a chuckle, "Get out of here." The Tao addict's mind moved, and the hand holding Fire Sky Halberd suddenly exerted force. Fire Sky Halberd spat out blood, and his bones were broken. Then she threw him to Yao Yin, whose face changed slightly. "Tao addict, aren't you going too far?" Seeing the Tao addict deliberately humiliating Fire Sky Halberd, Yao Yin said in a low voice, "Yao Yin, we have shown you enough respect by not killing him. If you continue to talk nonsense, no one can save them." The Absolute Sword, who had been silent but gave people a sense of extreme oppression, spoke. His voice was as sharp as his own. The Absolute Sword. Yao Yan's and the Absolute Sword's eyes collided, and invisible sparks surged. "Let's go." Yao Yan suddenly smiled and did not speak again. He led the group of people from the Sacred Fire Valley who had lost face and left this troublesome place. "Boy, are you sure you could defeat Fire Spirit?" After Yao Yin and the others left, the Tao addict cast her eyes to Yi Chenfeng and asked in a low voice, "Senior, don't worry. Since I dared to bet with him, I have full confidence." Yi Chenfeng showed a confident smile and said, "Let's go. Let's find a quiet place to talk." After Yao Yin and the others left, the Tao addict and the others did not stay for long. They quickly left, and came to a quiet and shady ancient courtyard in the fire god city. You are the junior who has cultivated the sword soul, right? Everyone sat under an ancient tree that required 4 people to hug. The absolute sword, who had been secretly sizing up Yi Chun-feng, suddenly asked in a sharp voice. Yes, I am. Yi Chun-feng nodded and admitted happily. Can you summon your sword soul and let me see it? The absolute sword asked, his eyes shining brighter than the stars. Sure. Yi Chun-feng moved his mind and summoned the bronze sword soul. Bronze sword soul, seeing the sword soul that Yi Chun-feng summoned, the light in the absolute sword's eyes became brighter. He did not expect the rumor to be true. Yi Chun-feng really cultivated the bronze sword soul. Sigh, it seems that you and I are not destined to be master and disciple. Looking at Yi Chun-feng's bronze sword soul, the absolute sword suddenly sighed. Senior, why did you say that? Zhao Yuyan asked in confusion. We both cultivate the sword soul Dao, but he is far ahead of me, so I am not qualified to be his master. The absolute sword said with a sigh. I am also lucky to be able to cultivate the bronze sword soul. Yi Chun-feng said with neither arrogance nor humility. Luck is sometimes a performance of strength. Not everyone can seize the opportunity. The absolute sword said lightly. All right, don't be so humble. In terms of strength, how many people in the central world can defeat you? The Tao addict said with a smile. Come, Feng Chun Yin, let me introduce 3 of my friends to you. The absolute sword is one of the 10 great wandering cultivators of the central world. Known as the Emperor of 10,000 Swords, he is as famous as the sword sect's old sect master. His attack power is definitely in the top 3 of the 10 great wandering cultivators. This violent dragon walks the path of body refinement. His body refinement technique has almost reached the limit of the central world. He is even stronger than ordinary saint beasts. He also has another identity, the Grand Supreme Elder of the vast Heaven Palace. This is the Black Lightning King. We are sworn brothers. He comes from the Thunder Clan and is the Grand Supreme Elder of the Thunder Clan. The Tao addict introduced her 3 old friends to Yi Chun-feng and the others. After knowing the identities of the 3 old friends, Yi Chun-feng, Zhao Yuyan, and the others couldn't help but gasp and bow respectfully. Yuyan, these are from the 3 of them. The Tao addict gave the 3 treasures to Zhao Yuyan. Although the Tao addict didn't explain the origins of the 3 treasures in detail, Yi Chun-feng could tell that the 3 treasures were as valuable as low-grade saint artifacts. They were very rare. Feng Chun, no matter the result of your competition with the fire spirit, you must be careful of Yao Yin. His strength isn't the strongest among us, but he is very shrewd and has high attainments in alchemy. In the central world, there are many old monsters who are indebted to him. Therefore, the power he controls is something that even us 4 old guys are afraid of. This is why I gave him face today. But because of his enmity with the Sky Palace, he won't participate in the alchemy competition held by the Sky Palace. The race addict admired Yi Chun-feng very much and didn't want anything to happen to him. She told the information about Yao Yin to Yi Chun-feng. Thank you for the warning, senior. I will be careful. Yi Chun-feng nodded. However, he had the universe realm, so he wasn't afraid of Yao Yan's revenge. Yi Chun-feng chatted with the 4 old monsters for a while. All of a sudden, he sensed that the chaos divine would had completely merged with the chaos force in the black stone and started to transform. He immediately excused himself and left the ancient courtyard, hurrying back to his room in the inn. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this book. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1163. Too much. They're too much. In a large courtyard in the northwest of Fire God City, Fire Sky Halberd, whose bones were crushed by the Tao addict, was furious and roared. Although the saint son of Fire Spirit was sitting aside in silence, his gloomy face betrayed his inner thoughts. Yao Yin slowly savored a cup of tea full of spirituality and slowly said, Okay, what is there to be angry about when your skills are inferior? Master, I must avenge this. Please help me, Fire Sky Halberd, who's going crazy. Halberd, tell me, how can I avenge this? Yao Yin put down the teacup and looked at Fire Sky Halberd's sullen face. He said slowly, the Tao addict fears the power behind me, but I also fear his power. But no buts. Yao Yin interrupted Fire Sky Halberd. I agree with what Feng Chun said today. Being strong is a kind of arrogance, and being weak is a kind of mistake. It's inevitable to suffer losses. Grandmaster, I will not let you down. I will defeat him fair and square. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit suddenly knelt on the ground and swore. Fire Spirit, your alchemy talent is indeed rare in the world, but you have to remember that there is always someone better than you. Feng Chun dared to propose a bet with you to solve the grudge between you, which proves that he has a high chance of defeating you. Yao Yin looked at the kneeling Saint Son of Fire Spirit and said lightly, so before the competition, you'd better be prepared for the worst. You have to put down your burdens to have a glimmer of hope. Grandmaster, please help me. I can't lose. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit respectfully kowtowed 3 times to Yao Yin and begged. Yes, you can't afford to lose. If you lose, your face is small, but the Heavenly Fire triple layer change is big. If the Heavenly Fire triple layer change is leaked, it may bring disaster to the sacred Fire Valley. Yao Yin drank up the tea in the cup, took out a jade slip, and gave it to the Saint Son of Fire Spirit. He said, this is my alchemy experience. I'll lend it to you for 2 days. Return it to me after 2 days. Also, give up tomorrow's preliminary competition and sign up for the semifinal. Don't waste time. Thank you, Grandmaster. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit took the jade slip with both hands and said excitedly, although 2 days was a short time, with the Flame Spirit Saint Son's memory, he could completely memorize Yao Yan's tens of thousands of years of alchemy experience. When he merged with Yao Yan's alchemy experience, he could definitely improve his alchemy skills in a short time. Though he didn't expect to be able to concoct a quasi-sage pill, because of this, it was extremely likely that he would be able to concoct an 8-vein Great Tao pill or even a 9-vein Great Tao pill and defeat Yi Qinfeng, who was only a 4-star alchemist. All right, go and cultivate. Don't disappoint me. Yao Yin waved his hand and said, yes, Grandmaster. The Flame Spirit Saint's son kowtowed to Yao Yin 3 more times before he left. He went into seclusion to study Yao Yin's tens of thousands of years of alchemy experience. Master, I, the Tao addict, do not expect to be able to take revenge. But can you help me kill that little bastard Feng Chun? That brat is too hateful. Thinking that all his humiliation was caused by Yi Qinfeng, Fire Sky Halberd wanted to eliminate him to vent the hatred in his heart. Well, the Heavenly Fire triple change can't be lost. No matter who wins or loses, Feng Chun must die. Yao Yan's turbid eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness as he said coldly, great, the Chaos Divine Wood is finally growing. Back in the room of the inn, Yi Qinfeng immediately entered the universe mirror to sense the changes in the Chaos Divine Wood. After fusing with the power of chaos in the black crystal, the Chaos Divine Wood was much thicker. The 5-color divine leaves on the tree crown had reached more than 5,000 pieces, which was twice as many as before. The tree crown had become more luxuriant, and the power of chaos contained in the tree body had become majestic and exuberant. He felt that the full blow of the transformed Chaos Divine Wood was enough to surpass the strongest blow of a low-grade holy treasure. The suppressive force had reached an extremely terrifying level. It could even suppress the real holy fire and holy thunder. Chaos Divine Wood, fusion. The Chaos Divine Wood transformed. Yi Qinfeng immediately controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to devour the mysterious golden blood in the tree body. However, the golden blood was too mysterious. The transformed Chaos Divine Wood was still unable to devour it. After trying several times, Yi Qinfeng had no choice but to give up regretfully. Who left this drop of golden blood behind? Why was the Chaos Divine Wood unable to devour and fuse with it? Although Yi Qinfeng had a feeling that this golden blood might be inextricably linked to his background, if he couldn't fuse with the golden blood, all the secrets couldn't be unraveled. Everything was just his guess. After the chaos divine would fail to fuse with the golden blood, Yi Chunfeng took out the vermilion bird crown that he had traded with Black Tortoise and threw it into the vermilion bird cauldron. He spat out the heaven-burning initial sacred flame to refine it. Under the burning of the heaven-burning initial sacred flame and the amplification of the vermilion bird cauldron, the vermilion bird crown quickly melted. The impurities in the crown feather were constantly removed by Yi Chunfeng through his exquisite control of the flame. Soon, the vermilion bird crown feather turned into an extremely rich drop of vermilion bird essence blood without any impurities. And because this drop of essence blood came from the vermilion bird crown, this drop of essence blood was even richer and more powerful. Fused with a thought, Yi Chunfeng fused this drop of refined vermilion bird essence blood into his body, forcibly controlling its fusion with the golden rock bloodline. Although the two bloodlines belonged to the same bloodline, they were still different. When he forcibly fused them, the vermilion bird essence blood rejected the golden rock bloodline and was unable to fuse with it. Not only did it damage Yi Chunfeng's meridians, but it also brought him great pain. Chaos divine would forcibly fuse, enduring the waves of pain that came from his body. Yi Chunfeng controlled the chaos divine would to suppress the two bloodlines that were fiercely resisting each other and forcibly fusing them. Under the fusion of the chaos divine wood and chaos divine wood, the two bloodlines that were fiercely rejecting each other gradually calmed down and began to slowly fuse. Phew, they finally fused. Yi Chunfeng breathed a long sigh of relief. He controlled the spirit bead of life to pour down the power of life to repair his damaged meridians, while controlling the chaos divine would to speed up the fusion of the two bloodlines. Once the golden rock bloodline could evolve further, Yi Chunfeng's flying speed would greatly increase, which would undoubtedly increase his ability to protect his life. Soon the night passed. At dawn, under the effect of the chaos divine wood, the vermilion bird essence blood and the golden rock bloodline were completely fused. After fusing with the refined vermilion bird essence blood, the golden rock bloodline reached the 4th grade. Once it was burned, it could instantly increase Yi Chunfeng's flying speed by 4 times. After the golden rock bloodline advanced, Yi Chunfeng left the Qinquan realm and looked at the faint light outside the window. He revealed a cold smile and said, "Fire spirit, are you ready?" He wanted to trample on all the pride and confidence of the fire spirit saint in the competition, making him fall from the altar and unable to recover. After taking a bath and changing clothes, Yi Chunfeng, who was in good spirits, left the room early and met up with Jiao Yuyin and the others. Stepping on the morning sun, they walked towards the Fire God Palace. The preliminary round began. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1164. As expected, the Flame Spirit Saint Sun gave up on the preliminary round. When Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yiyin arrived at the Fire God Palace early, they did not see the Flame Spirit Saint Sun among the alchemists. However, he had expected that the Flame Spirit Saint Sun would give up on the preliminary round and enter the semifinals, so he was not surprised. Moreover, he had guessed that Yao Yin would help the Flame Spirit Saint Sun improve his alchemy skills in these 2 days. However, he did not care, as he believed that he could crush the Flame Spirit Saint Sun in terms of results. As the time of the competition approached, more and more alchemists gathered in the White Jade Square. Among them, there was no lack of 7-star and 8-star alchemists. "All right, everyone, quiet down." The great guardian, Xian Zhangxin, who was in charge of the elimination round yesterday, appeared. He stepped in the air and looked at the 2,000 alchemists who were participating in the preliminary round. He said in a deep voice, "The glory is right in front of you. Whoever can grasp, it will be the final king. All right, everyone listen up and enter the Heaven Fire world." As he spoke, Xian Zhangxin took out a multi-edged stone plate and opened the entrance to the Heaven Fire world that was hidden above the Fire God Palace. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. There was an ear-piercing sound as close to 2,000 alchemists flew into the sky like arrows. They fought to be the first to enter the Heavenfire world. Stone platforms, so many stone platforms. After entering the Heavenfire world, Yi Chunfeng realized that there were 2,000 huge stone platforms that were shrouded in restrictions floating in the air. On each stone platform, there were many identical herbs. Many people had already occupied the stone platforms in advance. Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyin did not fight for the best stone platforms. Instead, they chose 2 stone platforms that were further away and waited for the preliminary round to begin. The rules of this preliminary round are the same as the previous years. There are 3 rounds of preliminary round. In the first round of preliminary round, everyone must refine the same type of pill. If you can refine an elixir with 5 patterns and above, you will pass the first round of preliminary round. However, the herbs on the stone platforms are limited. You only have 1 chance to refine elixir. If you fail, you will be eliminated. Also, you only have 4 hours to refine elixir. Everyone, get ready. The competition begins. Xian Zhongxin announced loudly. As soon as Xian Zhongxin finished speaking, the restriction on the stone platform disappeared. Everyone quickly picked up the pill recipe and memorized it. Low-grade Dao Core, profound ice Dao Core. It can increase the strength of water attribute cultivators. Refining the Dao Core requires 23 types of medicinal herbs. Yi Chunfeng memorized the 23 types of herbs needed to refine the black ice Dao Core. He cast his gaze towards the 50-odd herbs on the stone platform. His hands moved like lightning as he grabbed the herbs from the pile of herbs. Very quickly, he picked out the 23 medicinal herbs needed to concoct the pill. There's something wrong with these 2 herbs? Yi Chunfeng took out a middle-grade Dao treasure-level cauldron. Just as he was about to concoct the elixir, he suddenly felt that there was something wrong with the purple-backed Helianthus and the Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf among the 23 herbs. Their spirituality was incomplete. How could this be? These 2 unique herbs are actually incomplete? Yi Chunfeng's brows were tightly knitted together. When he looked around, he found that many alchemists also showed a dignified look. They muttered to themselves, the first round of the preliminary competition is really not simple. It's almost impossible to refine a profound ice Dao Core with more than 5 veins with incomplete herbs. If you directly concoct the elixir, it will most likely explode. This is staghorn grass. When Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes scanned the remaining herbs, a dark brown, furry grass with the shape of a staghorn appeared in front of his eyes. Although this staghorn grass was not the herb listed in the pill recipe, Yi Chunfeng, who had integrated a lot of alchemy memories, thought that the biggest role of staghorn grass was to restore the spirituality of herbs. If it was refined into the elixir, it could restore the spirituality of the purple-backed Helianthus and the Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf. So this is where the mystery lies. After finding the solution, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate and threw the 23 medicinal herbs and the deer horn grass into the cauldron. Then he spat out a mouthful of death flame, heavenly flame, and ignited the cauldron. He began to purify the 24 medicinal herbs. Refining 24 herbs at the same time was a test of one's soul, alchemy skills, and flame control, but for Yi Chunfeng, it wasn't much of a challenge. His hands were like flowing clouds, continuously making exquisite hand seals to control the death flame, which was burning more and more fiercely and purifying the 20 herbs in an exquisite manner. In less than an incense stick's worth of time, the 20 herbs that had withered and melted had turned into 24 drops of pure spirit liquid. There were no impurities in this spirit liquid. It was pure and flawless. Condense. After the purification, Yi Chunfeng's soul controlled the death flame heavenly fire to condense, condensing the 24 drops of pure spirit liquid together. Because of the staghorn grass's restoration spirit liquid, the spirituality of the purple-back Helianthus and Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf didn't affect the process of condensing the elixir. The 24 drops of spirit liquid smoothly condensed into 2 milky white elixir embryonic forms. Elixir patterns fuse. After the elixir embryonic forms were formed, Yi Qinfeng's hands quickly condensed. Elixir patterns that seemed to have a life of their own appeared in the void. Under his sole control, they fused into the 2 drops of milky white elixir through the pill furnace, increasing the quality of the elixir. Just as Yi Qinfeng was trying his best to condense the elixir and fuse the elixir patterns, there was an ear-piercing explosion in the silent heaven fire world. A 6-star alchemist stared blankly at the pill furnace that was emitting a burnt smell. He revealed a look of disbelief. How is this possible? I followed the elixir recipe completely, and there were no flaws in the purification. How could I fail? He opened the pill furnace and saw a pile of black medicinal ash at the bottom. This 6-star alchemist couldn't accept this fact at all. This was because with his abilities as a 6-star alchemist, he would have a high success rate in refining middle-grade Dao elixir, let alone low-grade Dao elixir. Just as he was recalling the reason for his failure, there was a continuous explosion in the heaven fire world that was filled with a thick medicinal fragrance and fire qi. Looking at the charred medicinal ash in each other's pill furnaces, these alchemists who had failed to refine elixir were shocked. They were at a loss and didn't know what went wrong when they were refining elixir. Wong! Suddenly, the rumbling of a cauldron rang out. Yi Qinfeng, who had finished concocting the pills at the fastest speed, slapped the scalding cauldron. 2 10-veined, profound ice Dao cores, emitting a faint cold air, flew out and were caught in Yi Qinfeng's palm. Sure enough, among these alchemists, he is the most outstanding one. Looking at Yi Qinfeng, who was the first to refine 2 10 runes black ice Dao elixir, Xian Zhongxin's old face revealed a rare smile. In just 3 breaths, Jiao Yian followed after Yi Qinfeng and refined 2 10 runes black ice Dao elixir, completing her refinement. At this time, Sky Marquis Mu Qinghua, who was watching the competition through the light barrier, revealed a proud smile when he saw Yi Qinfeng and Jiao Yiyan standing out from the other alchemists and completing their refinement. Just based on their results in the first round, the Sky Marquis Pavilion could be promoted to a 5-star Marquis Pavilion. As time passed, many alchemists with extraordinary strength completed their refinement. Among them, there was no lack of 10 runes elixir. However, there were also many who failed and were eliminated. In this tense atmosphere, for hours passed. The first round of intense preliminaries ended. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1165. A loud bell suddenly rang in the heavenly fire world and reached everyone's ears. All right, the refining is over. Everyone, stop refining. Xian Zhongxin appeared in the void and looked at the 2,000 alchemists with different expressions. He said in a deep voice, "Place the elixir that you have refined on the stone platform. The stone platform will check. Alchemists who failed in refining elixir or whose elixir quality is not good enough will be teleported out of the heavenly fire world by the stone platform." Soon, many stone platforms shot out beams of teleportation light. Almost 800 alchemists were teleported out of the heavenly fire world. As they left, the stone platforms disappeared as well. At this time, Xian Zhongxin, the host of the preliminary round, said, "Congratulations on the second round of the preliminary round. The second round will test your speed and proficiency in refining pills. Each of you will have 2 hours to refine pills. Whoever can refine the most pills in 2 hours will be the winner. We will rank you according to the number of pills you have refined and the quality of the pills you have refined. The top 300 will advance to the last round of the preliminary round. All right, take a break for 2 hours. After 2 hours, we will begin the second round." Although the second round was more difficult, it was still not a challenge for Yi Qinfeng. He sat beside the stone platform in silence and adjusted his breath while waiting for the second round to begin. Soon, 2 hours passed. Almost 900 stone platforms suddenly shot out a large amount of white light. It was so bright that no one could open their eyes. When the glaring white light disappeared, 10 elixir recipes sealed in a seal appeared on the stone platforms at the same time. There were also hundreds of herbs piled up together. Everyone, get ready. The second preliminary round begins. Xian Zhangxin looked at the alchemists who were ready. With his command, the second preliminary round began. The seal on the stone platforms disappeared instantly. Yi Chunfeng was like most of the alchemists. He grabbed the pill formulas one by one and quickly memorized the medicinal herbs in the 10 pill formulas. Then, he turned his gaze towards the pile of medicinal herbs that was piled up like a small mountain. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yi Chunfeng extended his right hand quickly and accurately grabbed the herbs in the elixir recipes. He then threw them into the cauldron. What is he doing? Could it be that he wants to concoct 10 types of pills at the same time? Xian Zhangxin, who had been secretly observing Yi Chunfeng, found that Yi Chunfeng had thrown nearly 200 herbs needed to refine 10 low-grade Dao pills into the pill furnace. His snow-white eyebrows twitched slightly as a look of surprise appeared on his old face. Xian Zhangxin was not the only one who was attracted by Yi Chunfeng's bold move. Many people in the viewing pavilion cast their eyes on Yi Chunfeng, wondering what he was going to do. On the other hand, Wang Tian Marquis, Mu Qinghua, and the others were extremely relaxed. They had already seen Yi Chunfeng's heaven-defying alchemy skills, so they weren't worried about him. After finding the 189 herbs needed to refine 10 low-grade Dao pills, Yi Chunfeng opened his mouth and poured the death flame, heavenly flame, into the pill furnace. He controlled the burning death flame, heavenly flame, according to the elixir recipes, and cleverly divided a large number of herbs, releasing a powerful soul force to purify the 189 herbs at the same time. Damn, where did that boy come from? How can he be so crazy? Refining 10 types of Dao pills in a single pill furnace at the same time? What the hell is he trying to do? What else can he do? Of course he wants to show off, but it won't be so easy. I think he'll most likely fail in the alchemy. Failure is certain. I've seen many people like him who try to please the crowd, but in the end, none of them have a good ending. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng refining 10 different types of Dao pills at the same time, the viewing pavilion suddenly burst into discussion. Almost no one was optimistic about Yi Chunfeng's chances. They didn't believe that he could be so heaven-defying as to refine 10 types of Dao pills at the same time. Damn, what is that boy trying to do? Could it be that he knows he's no match and is deliberately giving up in this way? In a quiet room in the viewing pavilion, Fire Sky Halberd witnessed Yi Chunfeng's feat of refining 10 types of Dao pills at the same time and was shocked as he cursed out loud. He's trying to show off to us. Yao Yin slowly savored the fragrant spirit tea in his cup as he looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was performing alchemy smoothly like flowing water, and slowly said, "Show off? Master, do you think he can succeed?" Fire Sky Halberd raised his brow and asked in disbelief, "If it were you, would you joke about a saint pill? Moreover, if he lost to the fire spirit, what he lost was not only his saint pill, but also his dignity." Yao Yin drank the tea in his cup and said, "So he's trying to show off to us. He wants us to know his superb alchemy skills and his belief in victory. Master, we can't lose this battle. Once we lose, our sacred Fire Valley's reputation will be ruined, and it will be difficult for us to raise our heads again." As a Saint Master, Fire Sky Halberd knew how difficult it was to refine 10 different types of Dao pills in the same alchemy furnace. Even he didn't have full confidence. If Yi Chunfeng really succeeded, then his alchemy skills would be too terrifying. "Calm down, he wants us to panic." Yao Yin put down his teacup as a cold light flashed in his turbid eyes. This boy is quite smart, but unfortunately, things won't be smooth sailing. He is destined to be the loser. After more than an hour of purification, the 189 medicinal herbs had all turned into drops of pure spiritual liquid. At this time, Yi Chunfeng did not stop at all. He continuously spat 2 mouthfuls of death flame into the alchemy furnace, increasing the power of the flames. At the same time, he condensed 10 low-grade Dao cores. Although condensing 10 low-grade Dao pills at the same time was more difficult than purifying them at the same time, Yi Chunfeng, who had fused with a large number of soul fragments, had the experience that many Saint Masters didn't have. His alchemy skills were even more mysterious. As his hands moved, the patterns on the alchemy furnace were like lively little fish, swaying in the void and constantly drilling into the alchemy furnace, increasing the quality of the low-grade Dao pills one by one. Amazing. This Feng Chun is skilled in alchemy and has the demeanor of a great master. This boy might really be able to rush into the top 10, as the Hall Master predicted. Xian Zhangxin, who had been observing Yi Chunfeng's alchemy, saw Yi Chunfeng's calm expression and experienced technique. The whole process was completed in one go, which made him admire him even more. About an hour later, Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes, which shone like lightning. His hands rhythmically patted the pill furnace, which was scalding hot from the death blaze heavenly flames. Every time he patted the furnace with his palm, a low-grade Dao pill would be formed. After 10 consecutive taps, all 10 low-grade Dao pills were formed. With scorching hot energy, they rushed out of the alchemy furnace lid and flew into the air. Witnessing the scene of 10 low-grade Dao cores rushing to fly out of the cauldron, the crowd watching the competition through the light wall was dumbfounded, revealing a look of seeing a ghost. The spectating hall, which was still a little noisy just now, suddenly quieted down. It could be said that Yi Chunfeng's superb alchemy skills had shocked everyone, shattering all doubts and letting everyone see how terrifying he was. His amazing performance was like a thorn in the hearts of the sacred Fire Valley's people. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1166. Success. That brat really succeeded. Although he had expected this, Fire Sky Halberd was still shocked when he saw Yi Chunfeng refining 10 low-grade Dao cores at the same time through the light barrier. His expression became extremely gloomy. Watermark advertisement test. This Feng Chun is indeed more outstanding than I had imagined. Right now, I really want to know what his limits are. Yaoyan did not reveal the slightest trace of surprise as he calmly said, with his age, he shouldn't be able to refine a quasi-sage pill. Fire Sky Halberd said in a low voice, if Yi Chunfeng had the strength to refine a quasi-sage pill, they would have no chance of turning the tables. Quasi-sage pill is not something that anyone can refine. With your strength, the success rate of refining a quasi-sage pill is less than 10%. Yaoyan said slowly, as long as he can't refine a quasi-sage pill, with Huoling's strength, there is still hope to defeat him. Fire Sky Halberd said with relief. All right, let's go back. Yaoyan said as he slowly stood up. Master, there is still one more round in the preliminary round. Are we not going to continue watching? Fire Sky Halberd asked in confusion. No, I already know his strength. There is no need to continue watching. Yaoyan shook his head and led Fire Sky Halberd and the others out of the viewing pavilion. Feng Chun, give me the 10 low-grade Dao pills that you have refined. I want to see the quality of these 10 Dao pills. Xian Zhangxin floated over to Yi Chunfeng's side. When he saw Yi Chunfeng's calm expression and calm aura, he said softly, yes. Yi Chunfeng nodded and handed the 10 low-grade Dao pills to Xian Zhangxin. 10 mark pills. These 10 low-grade Dao pills are all 10 mark pills. Looking at the 10 low-grade Dao pills that Yi Chunfeng had refined, Xian Zhangxin's pupils shrunk and a trace of surprise appeared on his old face. Not bad, not bad. You're more outstanding than we thought. Do well in the competition. We look forward to your more exciting performance. Xian Zhangxin praised Yi Chunfeng and left. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. From Xian Zhangxin's words, he felt that someone was paying attention to him, but he couldn't guess who they were. After Yi Chunfeng, Jiao Yuyan once again stood out from the crowd of alchemists. After close to 4 hours, she successfully refined 10 low-grade Dao cores. Moreover, the quality of each Dao core reached the level of 10 veins. Very quickly, for hours passed. The deafening sound of the bell rang once again, interrupting the alchemists who had yet to complete their matches. Due to the fact that it was not easy to refine 10 low-grade Dao Dan in 4 hours, almost 80% of the alchemists would not be able to completely refine them. However, there were 300 spots for advancement, and the alchemists who had not completed all of the pill refinement still had the qualifications to advance. In the end, under the Sky Hall's alchemist inspection, the top 300 alchemists were determined. Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyin were ranked first and second respectively. All right, the eliminated contestants can leave the Sky Fire world now. Those who have advanced, you have 6 hours to rest. After 6 hours, the final preliminary round will begin. Those who have advanced will be able to participate in the semi-finals tomorrow. Xian Zhongxin announced loudly. He controlled the mysterious stone platforms and sent the defeated contestants out of the Sky Fire world. Good luck. Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyin looked at each other across the space seal and encouraged each other verbally. They then sat cross-legged beside the stone platforms and quietly adjusted their breathing to recover their strength. Very quickly, for hours passed. The third round of the preliminaries will test everyone's true strength. I have all sorts of pill recipes here. You can choose according to your strength. As for this old man, I will rank you according to the level and quality of the pills you refine. The top 100 will advance to the semifinals tomorrow. All right, according to the ranking just now, we will begin to choose the pill formulas for Dao cores. Fengshun, what grade of Dao core are you going to refine? Xian Zhongxin first asked Yi Chunfeng, who had just obtained first place. Supreme grade Dao core. Yi Chunfeng said without hesitation. His voice was filled with confidence in his strength. Zhao Yuyin and Yi Chunfeng were the same. They both chose to refine supreme grade Dao cores. If they succeeded, they would be awarded the 8-star badge by the Heaven Elixir Pill after the competition. The Skyview Pavilion would also become a 7-star pavilion because of the two of them. Due to the high difficulty of refining supreme grade Dao cores and the low success rate, ordinary 8-star alchemists were not willing to choose. Except for Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyin, no one else chose to refine supreme grade Dao cores. After the 300 alchemists had chosen their pill formulas, the herbs needed for refining pills appeared on the mysterious stone platforms. Everyone get ready. You have 8 hours to refine pills. Begin. With Xian Zhongxin's order, the final preliminary round began. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the 19 herbs on the stone platform and threw all of them into the medium-grade alchemy furnace. Then, he sprayed the death flame heavenly fire and began to purify them. Zhao Yuyin was much more cautious than him. She put away the medium-grade Dao treasure purple gold furnace and took out the quasi-Dao treasure phoenix furnace that the Dao addict had given her. The moment the phoenix furnace appeared, it reflected an endless red light. When Zhao Yuyin injected the cold solitude heavenly fire into the phoenix furnace, it activated the phoenix rune in the furnace. A lifelike phoenix phantom divine bird emerged from the furnace. This phoenix phantom divine bird was the artifact spirit of the phoenix furnace. The phoenix furnace. How could this extraordinary saint furnace, which has been passed down for tens of thousands of years, appear in the hands of that little girl? Who is she? Many highly respected and powerful alchemists recognized the origin of the true phoenix incinerating furnace, and their eyes widened in disbelief. Some of them even showed greed in their eyes. Refining a top-grade Dao pill was extremely difficult. Any slight deviation would lead to failure. At this time, Yi Chunfeng cleared all distracting thoughts from his mind and focused on refining the top-grade Dao pill, not daring to make the slightest mistake. Under his exquisite control of the flames, the impurities in the 19 herbs were extracted and floated in the furnace. At this time, Yi Chunfeng spat out 5 more mouthfuls of death flames into the cauldron, increasing the power and heat of the flames in the cauldron. He controlled the 19 drops of spirit Y to fuse quickly and condense the supreme grade Dao core. While condensing the pills, Yi Chunfeng's hands continuously formed a series of pill veins. These pill veins were the pill veins needed to upgrade a top-grade Dao pill, which required an extremely high level of alchemy heritage to master. As time passed minute by minute, A rich medicinal fragrance was released from the furnace in front of Yi Chunfeng. At this time, Yi Chunfeng could already form the pills. But in order to refine the top-grade Dao pill to the best quality and form 10 pill veins, Yi Chunfeng tirelessly condensed the mysterious pill veins. Pung pung pung. When it was close to 6 hours later, pills broke out of the pill furnaces and flew into the air. Many people had finished refining their pills, but most of these pills were mid-grade Dao pills. There were very few high-grade Dao pills that appeared. Pill form. Yi Chunfeng concentrated on refining for more than 6 hours before finally condensing the top-grade Dao core into a 10 veins pill. Using a mysterious technique, he slapped the boiling hot pill furnace fiercely and condensed the death flame heavenly fire within the pill furnace, condensing 2 perfect 10 veins pills in one go. The moment Yi Chunfeng formed his pills, 2 10 veins Dao pills of the same quality flew out of the phoenix incinerating furnace and were caught by Jiao Yuyin's delicate hands. After refining the top-grade Dao pills, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyin looked at each other and revealed a faint smile. Soon, 8 hours passed, and almost 90% of the alchemists had finished refining their pills. After the inspection by Xianzhang Xin and the other Heavenly Hall experts, Yi Chunfeng, Jiao Yuyin, and the rest of the 100 alchemists successfully advanced to the next round. Tomorrow, they would compete with dozens of 9th-grade alchemists in the semifinals. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.